You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks1, home of Braves Country Baseball, Tuesday and Friday nights, along with pop-up shows, and the Armchair Quarterback Show, which airs live Saturday mornings. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks1. Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it. And if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from we, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team, it's about your university, it's about where my family wanted to go. And you're taking that away so that young kids can earn a dollar. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go.
Armchair.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. And doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit. And everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Lager, The beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks1. Hey, football fans. The Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
I might audible. If I audible, I'll use
Omaha! Omaha! Red Polly! Blue Poncho! Do it! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Stop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Luda Raiders!
Red Lion! Omaha!
Time out!
This portion of the show is being brought to you by The Best Things in Life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
Jay-Z. This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
Hey Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Armchair Quarterback Radio, the gunslingers of sports talk.
And here's second-year quarterback Brett Favre out of Southern Mississippi by way of the Atlanta Falcons. They are hopeful he can succeed in the NFL. Here, Brett Favre, you want a challenge? Try this one. So with their best receiver out of the game, from the 35, 19 seconds left. Ball punch, throws, touchdown! Is there a spark of life in Green Bay? Touchdown! Yes! Danny Marino!
Here's Marino, wide open field, throws for a touchdown. It is number 37 on the season, breaks the all-time NFL record. Going deep and open. Touchdown, Mark Duper. Duper has returned, and he is super.
They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll away, throws it up in the air, says a prayer. Janice, does he stop it? Oh, please.
It's the 21st century, and there are just so many fun and exciting ways to lose your money. So many ways to make your life even more interesting with crippling financial burdens. Why not one more way? New in Canada, it's Solitaire, MMORPG. Play with yourself, online. See other people playing with themselves, online. Poverty Poker Online, now offering Solitaire. A new way to lose all your money, even your home, from the comfort of your own home.
TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks, 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Remember, if for any reason you must leave your radio, please have the man at the door stamp your ear so you can listen again later.
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Rum and Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to change the bubble. Really? This is what you're doing? You know what's going to happen?
Hyperbole is done. Now we can finally play the game. We are live in Tallahassee, the capital of the great state of Florida. And Desmond Howard going in motion on 2nd down and 5 for Michigan, playing on real grass at Michigan Stadium. Going to the sideline, and it's intercepted. Florida State was sitting and waiting for it. Touchdown. What do you do?
Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the
We're down to the 20, but the bands are out on the field. There were flags all over the place. The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.
In trouble in the backfield, wants to throw now, and he's going to go deep. And I mean deep, and I mean touchdown, Florida! Miracle finish. A Hail Mary that's full of grace for the Gators.
Barkley trying to bounce it. And does escape. Saquon Barkley in the clear. Saquon Barkley. 79 yards. It's a 31-30 game. And what are
they doing?
do?
I have not seen the kicker come on the field, and I don't think he's coming on the field. Tom Osborne made this decision a long time ago. He's decided to go for 2 and take a shot at winning. I commend him for it.
This is for the national championship for Nebraska.
The Seminoles of Florida State.
It's a battle for flagging rights and recruiting advantages in the state of Florida as the Gators come calling. And Chief Osceola ready to get it started. Tallahassee.
Moody flush, throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it.
Today, we've got number 1 Seminoles against number 2 Hurricanes.
My very good friend Angelo.
What's up?
God dog it, the Seminoles are back in action this weekend. We get the W last week. Doug's joining us right now. That's what I was holding on for. And it doesn't get any bigger than this. So I want to dive right into this because I know your time is short. Florida State, LSU. I guess we lost Doug again. I don't know what happened there. Florida State, LSU. Sunday night. Could you be more excited?
No, I mean, last week we got a little glimpse of what Florida State can do. I know it was against obviously a weak Duquesne team, and the play calls are pretty vanilla. The defense. I saw a lot of people complain about the defense, but there were no packages that were shown. You can't really tell anything, but I mean, generally we stayed healthy. That was one of the biggest things I wanted to see. Everyone's favorite quarterback, Jordan Travis. He looked solid. It's exciting. We've been waiting.
Trophy front runner right now in my book.
There you go. We've been waiting for this game for a while, and it's gonna be tough. Going down into New Orleans to come out with a win, but I mean, you have to have optimism. Right. I mean, I know we've seen a lot of bad play over the last couple of years, but I think it's going to be a 50-50 game. I think it's going to be low scoring. I don't even think it's going to get the over. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. It's LSU's first game. We're going down there, so we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a barn burner, tough game.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a lower scoring game. I was in the where is Doug at? I don't know where Doug is. First, I thought he was just kind of. Let me check on Doug real quick just to make sure, and then we'll go on from here. But anyways, the game itself at first. Oh, well, there he is. You ghosted us. All right. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning.
Back to the Florida State game. The one thing I'm very shocked about this, I get that it's at a neutral site. You look at that line. The 3-point favorite is what I saw last. I haven't looked at it today, but I'm about to pull it up. Let me see if I can actually planning on doing
started something. Off, obviously, everyone knows 3.5. And I heard it was going down quick.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it real quick here on the so FSU. Where is the actual game at? I don't see it. So that is strange.
All the way at the bottom, I just did that too. So it's still 3.5.
Oh, at the very bottom. Okay, that's very strange. You would think the games that are already completed would be below. Okay, so 3.5, and what's the over under 50?
That's
oh man, I'm telling you right now. Look, I'd be more willing to take Florida State and the over. I mean, Florida State in the 3.5 than I would messing around with the over under. We did it on the fly Wednesday, but we weren't really counting those games because we kind of did it on the fly. The more and more I think about this, I think it's going to be a slobber knocker. I think it's going to be a game where the two teams are going to be kind of banging heads. And I don't know if they'll be able to compete going up and down the field, a fast, high-scoring game. I think Florida State is going to try to – don't you think that they're just going to try to run the ball as much as possible?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year too. That's how, when Florida State was at its best last year, it's when we were running the football. And we saw, obviously, we have 3 talented running backs. Our line, our patched up line looks better than last year as of now. LSU has a good line. I assume they're gonna try to slow down the game too. I think it's gonna be a battle of field possession. Whoever gets the first turnover, if they capitalize on that turnover, run down the clock when they have the lead. But I agree with you. I think both teams are gonna keep the ball on the ground, and clock's gonna run by quick.
I also kind of feel like that Florida State didn't show anything in that first game. They knew that they could physically dominate. But the biggest thing that I took away from this, man, last year we played a team about like Duquesne and lost the damn thing. Muddled around a game we should have won. We muddled around and let them beat us on that Hail Mary. And we all remember that vividly. But this year, they took it to them. They seem a little more focused, but also it just seemed like a much crisper offense. I'm sure a lot of that just has to do with the continuity. Look, I joke around, but I think Travis is a solid college quarterback. He's not going to be an NFL player, right? That's just not going to happen. But he's a solid college quarterback, and you can win with him. I think the ceiling's only so high with Travis, but that's fine because it's much higher than it is what we saw when the backup came in.
Not only that, and you mentioned this a couple seconds ago, it was a cleaner game. I think there was just one false start penalty. Back in the day, a couple of years ago, you would have these stupid penalties. There was a false start penalty. There was a late hit, which didn't happen again. But I mean, it was mostly penalty-free football. And against a team like that, that's what you wanted to see, and it was discipline, right? Exactly. About that. So, yeah, it was a step in the right direction for sure.
All right, before we go into the rest of college football, we've got a busy Major League Baseball going on, and I wanted to hit these standings because first of all, are you getting a little worried with the Yankees?
Yeah.
Whew, 5 games now. It's only a 5-game lead. I can't believe that.
It was 15 and a half, and now it's down to 5. You just look at the way that the Yankees are playing lately, and it's horrific. They're doing a lot of barking, no biting. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, but Donaldson was mouthing off at one of the Rays pitchers, and they broke it down.
I didn't. I was doing the Braves Marlins play-by-play, so I really didn't see any highlights other than what happened in the Atlanta game.
So they were mouthing off at each other. Then Donaldson, they broke it down on Twitter, and you could see him saying, "Oh, throw me a fastball, throw me a fastball." Well, he's hitting 224 against 4-seam fastballs this season. So, I mean, you look at the Yankee, besides Aaron Judge, who's having a career year, not only for himself, but obviously for baseball history. But you have Rizzo batting 225. You have Stanton batting 219, Glaber 242, Donaldson 220. LeMahieu is down to 267. You know, Benintendi looked decent. He started to look decent, but he just got hurt. So there's a lot of players that need to step up.
And somehow, some way, and you know that they're my side girl when it comes to Major League Baseball. I'm a Rays fan, but I don't consider myself a Rays fan because I can't watch the games. So how big of a fan can you be, right? I like when I get to see them on national television, and of course I catch them in the postseason, but they get blacked out here, so it's impossible for me to actually watch them without, extending my cable bill to a ridiculous amount. But they somehow find a way every year. I bet your average baseball fan can't name 5 players on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Nope.
And yet somehow they're only 5 games behind the Yankees. And I would tend to think the Yankees are going to hold off, but
yeah,
there's 30 games left, and you're starting to wonder. Look, if they have a monumental collapse like this, I don't care what they say. Cashman and Boone got to go, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. A lot of people blame Boone, but I mean, analytics department is telling them who to play. Right, they've already come out and basically said that the people behind the scenes, they tell him which lineup is best for that day. I think, I mean, he's not going to leave, but the Steinbrenners, the ones currently running the team aren't making the right moves. I think. I tend to think that the Yankees will hold on to the lead. It will be a monumental collapse should they not, to go up from 15 and a half, possibly losing the division. They're going to be judged by how they do in the playoffs, right? Even if they have a monumental collapse and finish the first wild card team, see how they do in the playoffs. I think that's ultimately how they'll be judged. Same reason why people were saying, hey, if they broke the wins record and they finished first in the AL, even if they lost in the second or in the divisional or the ALCS, it would be a collapse. So I think the same can be applied both ways.
Doug, AL wild card today. I ask you this every week, but today, who is going to make the AL wild card today? We're still 4 weeks out.
AL wild card. Right now, I would say Seattle. Seattle is on a tear. You want to talk between Tampa Bay and just to go. I'm going to go along. I'm going to say that the Yankees are going to completely collapse by the time we're done this season. I think Tampa Bay will take the division. But as far as teams on a tear going into the yeah, I'm going to say it. I'll say it.
So you got the Yankees in the wild card. You got Seattle in the wild card. Who's the third wild card?
Third wild card would be, I would think it'd be Minnesota would be the third one.
Oh, wow.
Because
Because Minnesota's going to have to get extremely hot to get there. I think Tampa Bay and Seattle are going to be walk-ons. I do think the Yankees are going to find a way. I don't know how, but I can't wrap my head around the fact that team was that good in June and this bad in September, and they can't turn it around somehow. Do I think that they're going to go to the World Series? Absolutely not. The Houston Astros are the best team in baseball right now, and I don't know how anyone's going to beat them in the American League, much less beat them at all. But your best chance of getting the Astros beat are probably all three teams are in the National League. And I'm talking about the Braves, the Mets, and the Dodgers. I think those are the three teams that could beat them. But man, assuming Verlander's okay and it's not some long-term thing, that team was really damn good last year, and they had some injuries. The Braves beat an Astros team in 6 games that did not have Verlander, that did not have McCullers, right? Well, they have them this year, and not to mention some of the additions that they made. The only prayer they have is if they put Will Smith into a tight game. The Braves. But I've got Tampa Bay, I've got Seattle, and my third team. Man, it's because I'm pulling for them. It's not necessarily because I think they're better. I'm going to say the Baltimore Orioles. They're at 1.5 game in front of Toronto right now, or 1.5 games behind Toronto, and they are 2.5 in front of Minnesota for the wild card.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Toronto in the playoffs because I don't want to have to deal with that stupid vaccine thing that they're doing where you're going to get players are not going to be able to play. And the way that they've already thwarted off the vaccine now by the CDC, then what the hell are we talking about now? Hell, that you can't even get the third vaccine because they tell you it's not necessary. So why are these players? But that's a different topic, a different kind of show. But because of that, I'm pulling against Toronto. And I'd like to see, plus it'd be cool because Baltimore's not done anything in a long time. And it'd be cool for Baltimore to be in there. To hell with Minnesota. I could care less about them. Their fan bases, I know they exist in the Midwest, but that's what I outside of like maybe 2 other people I've ever met in my lifetime, I don't run into Minnesota Twins fans ever.
I'm kind of rooting for Minnesota only because growing up as a kid, my granddad and the founder of the owner of the Twins went to school together. And when I was a little kid, when I first started learning baseball, we used to come down to summer break and sit with the owner because they went to school together. So
I'll never pull for the Minnesota Twins because Kent Herbeck pushed Ron Gant off of first base in the 91 World Series. Everybody knows it. And that was a bunch of horse crap. Not to mention they also put the Cardinals in the 87 series. So as a young man, my second favorite team at that point, when I was growing up as a kid, because I saw more of the games at that time, I was a Cardinals fan number 2. Braves first, always. Cardinals 2. Well, the Twins beat my 2 favorite teams when I was a young kid right out the gate.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, well, to hell with this. To hell with anything Minnesota. I know it's hard for anyone to believe that someone would hate the Minnesota Twins like they were some kind of empire. But there was a time where the Twins were really good. Screw the Homer Hank. Angelo, who do you have making the wild card?
Yeah, like you, I think the Yankees hold off. I mean, Tampa's on a tear. They can't continue it the same way the Yankees couldn't continue the run that they were doing earlier. I think it's going to be Toronto. I think it's going to be what it is now: Toronto, Seattle, and Tampa in no particular order.
Okay, so because we're going to have this one long show, we're going to have all the guys on. It's going to be really hard to do how we normally did the stupid underdog picks, where the team with the worst ranking went first, et cetera, right? Because we're all in different slots. So we're just going to do the old fashioned. If you want the stupid underdog, you get the stupid underdog. And later in the season, you can play the game of, well, I'm not going to pick him because I know that guy's going to pick him. And then if later in the show, if you see someone pick your pick and you want to change it, just put it in the chat. So that's the easiest way to do it because it's impossible. There's going to be, there's going to be like 7 or 8 of us, assuming Tony's gets back hopefully next week. So we'll do that here in a second. Wanted to give you all a chance to look up some stupid underdogs. For folks that don't know what I'm talking about, and Doug might be new to this too. The stupid underdog picks are you're picking a team who is an underdog to win the game outright. And if you win the game, the team has to win the game, you get those points. So for instance, we were just talking about Florida State. If Florida State were to upset LSU, Angelo, and he picked FSU, Angelo would get 3.5 points. Now there's some strategy to it because if your team covers the spread, you get 2 points anyways. So there is some strategy to it, but you normally go for bigger point spreads than 3.5, et cetera, because you don't gain a whole lot. But anyways, just to explain that, because we're going to be doing this all season long. We're going to start it today. I didn't really give everyone heads up for it, but I kind of figured that we would just throw it at them. Looking at some of the games today, I'm going to go to the top 25. I had it on ACC so I could find. Fortunately, our Seminoles are not ranked, so I couldn't find them unless I went to ACC. Some of the games that are going on today, I think the big one that everyone's going to be paying attention to, Georgia and Oregon, and then Florida and Utah. To me, those are the two big games, right?
You have the Notre Dame Ohio State game as well, 5v2.
I know, but do you give them a puncher's chance? Because I don't. I think Ohio State's going to throttle them.
I think it will be close.
Yeah, okay. So you'd be willing to take the 17.5?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't. So it's not going to. I mean, you can't say it's going to be close. And then
you cut me off before I finished. I was going to say I think it's going to be close, and then Ohio State's going to pull away. But
every game's close at the kickoff.
You think Alabama, Utah State's going to be close?
At kickoff, I guarantee they'll be covering the spread, but eventually, Bob, midway through the second quarter, it's going to be 42-0, and you're going to be sweating, going, "Man, what the hell was I thinking?" Because you know, it's funny, Angela. We all hope we can find that one pick,
50-pointer.
That, especially in the first week, we hope that we can find that one pick that the team, the heavily favored team, is just kind of sleepwalking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not betting against Nick Saban's team that just lost the national championship to be sleepwalking.
No.
Give me a winner before you have to jump off here. Give me a winner, Utah, Florida.
Utah.
What's the score?
I think it'll, again, low scoring, week one, down in the swamp. Utah's not accustomed to that atmosphere. I'll go 24-13.
Wow. Okay. So a comfortable one, because I believe they're like a 3-point favorite as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
2.5.
Oh, okay. It's down to 2.5 according to this today. By the way, for anyone who's wondering, we're going to go off the ESPN lines because it's just easier. Everyone can find it. Don't at me in this. We got it a few times last year in the sections where it goes, well, mine's Vin and this one and that one, and my bookie says it's 2.5, and you're all saying it's 3 points. Don't care. They go. I think they go off of Caesar's. Yeah, Caesar's Sportsbook. So that's what they're going off of. So you've got them winning. I think Utah wins, but I think it's going to be an absolute knuckle buster. I'm talking about a low-scoring ball game, 17-13. So I would probably take Utah minus the points, but more likely what I would do is I don't have it in front of me. All I see is the spread, but I would probably take them on the money line if I was going to take the game. Doug, who do you have winning Utah, Florida today?
I got Utah winning that game. But I think it's like you said, it's going to be a barn burner. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I mean, look, it's in the swamp and it's a night game, and there's no way that Utah is used to that playing in the Pac-12 or whatever the hell they'll call it in a few years. Before we get off here, before you give me stupid underdog picks, I've got to get your take on this. Doug, I'll start with you because you're kind of a casual college football fan. The news kicked out yesterday. College football playoffs are going to 12-game playoffs starting in 4 seasons, 2026. Are you excited? Is it too many? Is it the right number? What say you?
I honestly, I hate it. And it's like, we talked about this once a couple of weeks ago. I just feel like these constantly changing schedules and how they're doing it. It's like college football has become the NFL. And I had mentioned this before, and I still stand on it. I don't like it at all, to be honest with you. It's too much.
Angelo, what say you?
I like it. There's more games, but let's say Florida State is the 1 or 2 and they lose in the second round, right? Because the top 4 will have a bye. Then I won't like it, right? So if my team's
Florida State's in the damn playoffs, I'll be fine with it at this point. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Now, look, we got 4 years to get there, but I'm saying now,
I'm saying if they're 1 or 2 or in top 4 or 1 or 2, and then they lose when they should have been already in the national title game. You get what I'm saying? Like if they lose early on in the playoffs when theoretically they would have already been in the title game, then I would say, it's too many games, right?
I get that, but I feel like that's a long time ago. You know what I mean? In other words, I'll be happy for them to just make the playoffs.
Right.
The fact that they're expanding it, I love it because it's no longer the Alabama Ohio State Invitational, right?
Yep.
So we should get some new blood in there. That should be fun. You're going to get upsets. Everyone thinks that Alabama's just, I guarantee you there's some pinhead on ESPN telling you that, well, this is ridiculous because they're just going to maul them and the playoff games right now are not very good. Okay, but you're only just getting 4 games. When you have to go through a gauntlet, the team that gets the buys, they're obviously going to get an advantage, right?
And it's at home too.
Right. But, and first of all, we don't know what it's eventually going to be because we get 4 years from now, they could change all that. It could be neutral sites, whatever. But as of right now, what does that break down to? The top 4 teams in the country get a bye, right?
Yeah. So last year, I'm looking at last year, what it would have been. It would have been Alabama, Michigan, Cincinnati, and Baylor all would have had buys going into the second round, and the games would have been at home.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that from year to year, what it is now. Look, I will say this: that I've been preaching this from day one. I liked the number 7. I think 7 teams would have been perfect because you would have had to respect the number 1 seed because they would be the only team getting a bye. Meaning Alabama gets the SEC championship game, they don't phone it in because they're like, well, we got to play next week anyways. Instead, they're like, we better win this damn thing because I don't want to have to play next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think 12 might be a little too much, but I'm just excited that it's no longer 4 because 4 was it's just like, is that really a playoff 4? I never thought 4 was a good number. I thought 7's perfect, but I was thinking more of 8. I thought I was shocked when I saw it coming at 12. I was like, my God. Before y'all have to run, Angela, give me your stupid underdog pick.
So I was looking at, I'm really tempted to take Bethune Cookman. That's such it's 60.5, and the total is 60.5 as well, which is super odd. So they're thinking Miami wins 61-0. But I'm not gonna. I don't have the guts of Tampa Tones over there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take USF over BYU.
What's the line on ESPN right now?
I think 11.
So USF plus 11. And they're playing BYU. I'm actually keeping this organized. I got this bad boy.
You know they have this thing called computer.
I've been pulling a piece of paper out of my wallet or whatever. Do what?
I was saying you could like just type it in on the computer.
I could, but that might start a forest fire because that's what I need is one more thing that I'm using a computer for. This is much more handier. You can just pull it out and go wham. Here we go. Doug, what game are you taking?
I was just taking the my stupid pick, Cincinnati over Arkansas. Nobody's talking about it.
What's the line on that?
I think it's 10. No, I think it's 10.
That is going to be a hell of a game. Or it should be. I was talking about this earlier in the week with I've got 7. I got 6.5 is what I have. So Cincinnati
Okay.
6.5. If you go to ESPN.com and go to the scoreboard, it'll show you the line right to the side. So
there it is. Never mind. Yep. I still got Cincinnati. Even though everybody expects Arkansas to win, I expect I'll take Cincinnati in the upset. I'll take their defense off of
that should be a
Arkansas's
fun
run
one.
game.
3:30 kickoff too. That's but about the time that game's getting good, the Georgia Oregon game will be a snore fest.
Yeah.
All right, Angelo, what is your walk off for the day, sir?
No, I'm just hoping there's a lot of good games this weekend. A lot of upsets I'll take. And I feel like we haven't had one of those opening weekends in college football in a while where there's been 4 or 5 ranked teams that go down.
What's the final score in New Orleans?
Okay. I'll go. I think it's going to be low. I think it's going to be something like 20-17. I'll take Florida State wins 2017.
All right, brother. We'll see you next week. Great job. It was great seeing you.
Yeah, right.
Been too long. Doug, what is your walk-off for the day, sir?
On a completely unrelated note, in the NFL, I really, by the time we get to the NFL season, I really need for the Raiders to pick up an offensive lineman somewhere, because we're not going to have a good season if we don't pick up somebody at that right tackle position. And here we are a week before, and we haven't signed anybody yet.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the Raiders are trash, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's a relief. Okay, we got that over with.
I honestly think, and we'll do predictions next week when we don't have this draft about to happen. But and I'm asking you for your walk-off, but I'm assuming that you're going to stay, or if you got to jump up for a second. The live draft is starting in 20 minutes. And so we'll have Doug and all the guys welcoming on to the show. We'll start with the man with well, y'all both got sun in your face, but Joey's got a little more sun in his face right now. Joey, how are you?
Good. Yeah, trying to get a little sun, a little pale these days. So a little bit of sun never hurts.
You're going to be like Two-Face. You're going to be half tan.
Brian already called me an old Italian mobster on the chat. So everything's going well. People are making fun of me this morning. It's just what I expected on draft day. Let's get after it.
Tones, how the hell are you?
Good, sir. Ready for another fun day. Drafting, talking college ball a little bit. Stupid Underdog Picks is back. That's one of my favorite segments we do. So really thrilled that football's back, and what a win for the Nittany Lions on Thursday night.
I was about to say, man, you already got a W under your belt, man. Congratulations. That was a hell of a game. I was watching the end of it. And I mean, look, normally a Penn State Purdue game wouldn't draw me in, but I was pulling for you. I was like, man, I bet you Tones is cussing right now, man. Purdue gave you all that you wanted. That was a hell of a game. The backyard brawl was a hell of a game.
Yeah, we had a lot of good ones on Thursday.
Absolutely. The rest of the guys are joining us here shortly. So we do have the draft. Now I'm going to go ahead and get us into the draft room and share that. But we'll just kind of shoot the bull until the draft starts. Guess the big thing we need to start off with today is the college football playoffs expand. I want to get y'all's take. It means that Notre Dame may finally get a chance to win a playoff game. Joey, do you like the 12? Is it too many? Is it just right? What say you?
Teams. I wouldn't go anywhere probably beyond that, but I do like the 12 because now you get a chance to have more of an actual playoff and involve more teams. If you're not an Alabama of the world, if you're not a couple of teams like it was more than one game. Now with this 12 teams, you include everyone more. I'm sure we'll see Notre Dame in there a few more times. That probably means some more bad losses come the clutch. But who knows what will happen. I do like the expansion, and I do think that, now you're going to have more teams excited going into November, December, instead of having a lot of teams already out and you're focused on about 6 or 7 teams with only one mid-level get a couple of more teams in there that way. Four is just too little. I always thought it was a good starting point. You needed to start be about the 12.
Tones, what say you?
Yeah, it needed expansion. 12 might be a little too much, but more is better than less, in my opinion. So in this case, at least for the college football playoffs, I like the 6 conferences and 6 at large. But my thing is, if they're trying to combine all these conferences and we're going to get a couple power conferences, are they going to have to adjust that verbiage? Are they going to have to do top 2 from 3 power conferences if it comes out as such? Or are they going to leave it where it's 6 from conference winners and then 6 at large bids? So there's a lot of questions and, kind of not a lot of clarity on some of the things given the state which college football is heading and the collapsing of some conferences. So I'm interested to see that part of it, how that shakes out. But I am glad they expanded it in general and giving fans more meaningful football to watch and giving fan bases such as Penn State, Florida State, Notre Dame even more hope of getting in the playoffs each and every year.
Yeah, the biggest thing to me is the fact that we no longer are going to have to look right now. It's going into the season. Let's be honest. We know Alabama's going to be there. We know Ohio State's probably going to be there. And if Clemson gets their act together, Clemson will be there. So then 100 and something teams are fighting for one spot. I guess maybe this year we'll say that we think it'll be Georgia in there. So we'll say Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the fence with that because Georgia's got to do it several years in a row for me to believe that they're always a shoe-in. But that sucks for a sport. It really does when there's only 4 teams. NBA is bad enough and it was much different this year, but in a lot of years where you're going into the season, you're like, maybe like 3 teams have a chance to win the NBA title, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's bad enough. But it'd be even worse if there only 4 teams made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It makes everything so damn boring. No one plays the bowl games anymore. I'll say it again. The bowl games need to be moved to this weekend. They need to be the kickoff of college football. It'd be a lot of fun to see cross rivals. And now that you get 12 teams in the playoffs, we might see that. We might get a situation where the bowl games go to the beginning in Labor Day weekend and Florida State and Penn State may play because they're like, man, if I can get that W against a Big Ten team or against wherever Florida State is at that time, ACC, SEC team, that could pad my resume to be that 12th team in the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun too. And I'm all here for that. I like the idea of moving the bowl weeks up because the more playoff teams you add to, the less impactful some of those lesser bowl games are.
Yeah. Doug was saying that he didn't like it. I kind of get why some fans wouldn't like it. Doug, do you have a favorite college football team?
Overall, I always root for Notre Dame. So
you're dead to me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I never talk college football with you.
I mean, everyone's got to have a team. So like Notre Dame, this is huge for Notre Dame because I still think they need to get into a conference to guarantee a slot, but now they have a much better chance of making the playoffs, which makes me think that maybe Notre Dame had a hand in this.
Notre Dame's had a hand in a lot of rule changes over the last 100 years, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Notre Dame's had a hand in a lot of things there, like their clergy. But anyways, we won't go back to those scandals where those hands were. If the playoffs were this year a 12-man team, I don't think Florida State would have a chance of making the playoffs because I still think we're a couple of years away. We still have to get that big name quarterback. We still have to get a couple other things, but they're definitely on their way. They're playing better football. but Penn State would have an outside shot. Notre Dame would have an okay shot. I still think they're going to lose a couple of games, so it depends on what the criteria will be. Here's my thing. 12 teams are going to get in. Let's say there's 4 power conferences in 2026 and no longer 5, which I think is where we're going. I still say if you win your conference, that should be an automatic bid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's the Big 12, Pac-12 conglomerate and a 4-loss Oklahoma State team goes out and beats a 1-loss USC team. Or USC won't be there then. A 1-loss crap. Who's going to be left in the Pac-12?
Washington.
Well, Washington's headed to the Big Ten as well. Whoever the hell, because I about to say you can't see Oklahoma or Texas because they're going to be gone. But if you win that conference, you should get in. Maybe a better example would be a 4-loss SEC team knocks off Alabama in the SEC title game. I still think they should get in, and it would make the conference. And that's why I go back to the fact I still think it's way too many teams in 12. Because you're going to dilute the regular season a bit.
But it kind of stinks like though today, like if Notre Dame loses today and to Ohio State, which is probably likely going to happen, unfortunately, their season's pretty much over this year for playoffs, right?
No. If you run the table and it's a close game, you can't get your doors blown off.
Right.
You run the table, it's a close game, Notre Dame gets in. Now, what hurts Notre Dame right now is they're not in a conference, so they can't point to a conference championship.
Correct.
But they do play Southern Cal, they do play Clemson, and assuming those 2 teams are good, they're going to have some games to hang their hat on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, their schedule isn't the easiest. It's never like impossible, but it's kind of fun to start week 1 with Ohio State. Let's see what you got. But a tough test for Marcus Freeman and the boys is I'm sure you'll hear me pick them later in a certain game we play. But I mean, it's not going to be easy. The receivers are not looking too good this year, headed into a hostile environment. Like you said, it's about keeping it close. If they lose within 10 points, like 7, something like that, you could see it. But if this is like a 45-17 game, oh boy, that's going to look bad nationally to all the pundits.
Yeah, if it's a blowout, and even though it's week 1, it's going to hurt their chances immensely. What you have to hope is that they're somewhere around the spread. The spread 17. I think if they lose by around 17, you'll be okay. The people won't be impressed by a 17-point loss, but they won't be like, man, they're overrated. Da.
Correct.
Instead, you're more likely to get folks saying, hey, it's a first game. Now, a drubbing 51-10, that would be like, oh my God, what has happened? They do play at North Carolina, but North Carolina is not expected to be that good. Hell, North Carolina, did you know North Carolina is a 1-point underdog today against Appalachian State? Wow. Where the hell did that come from? But they do play, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They play BYU, who is ranked currently. Not if Doug's right today, but they're ranked. Or no, who was it took the BYU? Angela, sorry. And then Clemson and Southern Cal. The problem is the rest of their schedule is kind of it's weaker than it has been. Marshall, California. They always play Stanford. UNLV, Syracuse sucks. Navy, Boston College. They got the bad draw in the ACC this year where they don't play a second decent program in the ACC.
Yeah, they would definitely have to capitalize on that back end. Clemson, hopefully still really good at that time when they play them on November 5th. I imagine they should be. And then ending with USC on November 26th. That could be one of those situations if both teams are good enough. One of them who wins could be looked at the team in. But you're right. A lot after today, that schedule is a pretty easy cakewalk until you get to that Clemson game. Nothing really besides the BYU game. There's 5 other games on this schedule where you're not going to really move the needle.
Tony's asking you if did you see Enos's kid plays for Utah? I'm assuming he's talking about Curtis Enos.
Yeah, I think he is assuming that as well, but good to have Tony back in the building. I like Utah today, although it's going to be a tough battle against Florida. Bobby's Florida today. Utah's defense is so young. I think that they're going to be able to control themselves and win a close one in the Swamp, and hopefully that Enos's kid has a decent game for Utah, and they could get some momentum under their feet after a great season last year.
We're gonna find out with Richardson and whatnot how Napier's been able to develop him, because I know a lot of people were big on Richardson last year, and he had flashes, but he also looked like crap sometimes. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that this guy's gonna be a Heisman Trophy winner.
And did you see Dan Mullen?
Good litmus test out the gate.
Real quick, Mullen predicted Florida to finish like 5th or 6th in their conference division, but then at the same time, he picked Richardson for like a Heisman sleeper candidate. So that guy's still, even after coaching Florida.
Who said that?
Dan Mullen, the guy who was a clown at Florida. Now
where was he being interviewed at?
I forget. I heard it on the Tampa Sports Radio the other day. They were talking about him and kind of giving him some heat. I'm not sure where it
Maybe
came
Tony
from.
can give us some kind of insight. I didn't know that Dan Mullen doesn't seem like the type that would be very charismatic on TV.
I don't.
He always
Maybe
come across to me as kind of a dumpy doofus,
I agree. Maybe he was just doing some local.
You know who he reminds me of? I forget the character's name, but you remember Clark Oswald's ugly, goofy ass brother that pulled his motorhome into the driveway? Crapper's Full, that one. That's who he reminds me of.
Oh man,
Quaid, Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid's brother, whatever. Am I dating myself? Do y'all not know this movie?
No, I know it a little bit, but I'm trying to look up the Googles right now. And
Okay,
see.
because I mean, the way the silence is, I was like, man, do they not know Christmas Vacation? Holy crap!
Oh, Christmas Vacation.
We know Christmas Vacation. We're just I was looking at fantasy things. Sorry.
Fair enough.
I was looking into Curtis Enos still.
Well, let's go ahead and start talking the fantasy football real quick before I forget, because we're going to get in a mash here. What are your stupid underdog picks? Anyone wants to go have at it?
Notre Dame for me.
You could go.
Okay, what is that on ESPN today? Is it 17?
I'm looking right now just to confirm it's 17. It was it is 16 now.
16. Wow. A lot of money coming in on the Irish, huh?
Yep, on ESPN it is 16.
All right. That'll be the litmus that we'll go by. Whatever it's on Saturday mornings on ESPN.com, that's what we'll go by. Tones, you got one?
Yes, sir. I'm going with North Texas +10 at home against SMU. They got a big victory in week 0. North Texas, I think they're looking to build on
goofy
that.
ass off the wall.
Here we go.
Here we go again. It's week 1. Let's go.
Can't find this game on ESPN.com even. No,
It's actually on CBS Sports Network.
I'm surprised it's not on C-SPAN the way you pick games.
Hey, I'm actually aiming for C-SPAN next week, so I'll look at the games next week and get a better one for you guys.
I don't know where Tones was even getting that line. I don't even see a line on Miami Bethune-Cookman. He was mentioning that one. He said that was weird. He said that the over under 60.5 in Miami's number was 60.5. So basically they're insinuating a shutout. Let me see here. We got about 3 minutes before the draft begins. Where's everyone drafting? My team is the one that's highlighted in the orange because I'm the one sharing the screen. And that's why I kept meaning to. Stupid Yahoo trying to sell me stuff. All right, real quick. Let me go back to. I got my shirt on. You see it, baby? It's my team name.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Show me your TDs. Let's go. Go win it.
I love it. I love it.
Doug is the defending champion in this league, I believe, aren't you, Doug?
Yes, yes, I am.
We got to put a stop to that. And then we've got our big draft party today. What time are you heading over here, Doug?
I should be there probably by 2.
Why don't you show up about 15 minutes after the first draft starts?
Okay.
So we've got, what do we have? We have one at 2:30, 4:30, 6:30. And then we've got the in-person one that we do. It's the old school draft where I've got the board, we got the stickers, that's how we're going to do that one. So we got 4 other drafts we're doing today. Plus, I can't forget that I still have a couple of things. So you guys never joined the one that we did with the best ball, but I'm assuming y'all signed up with best ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let me get it organized this afternoon. I'll see how many more want to do another one. We'll get another one going. The problem is there's no longer the long drafts on best ball because you're this close to the season. So if you'll give me an idea of what day and what time we could set that up, I'd say if you aren't busy on Monday, Labor Day, we could maybe squeeze it in at some point then. But
that would work for me.
Are y'all pretty open on Labor Day?
I'm pretty open Monday, yes.
Okay. Then that's what I'll shoot for, because what we'll have to do is we'll have to sign it up all together, because once that last person signs up, the draft begins.
Understood.
So unfortunately, I can't be the last one to sign up and give everyone the text and say, hey, I'm about to sign up and let's go. And not everybody pays attention to social media, so I can't. So anyways, but that's what we'll shoot for. They wouldn't allow us to do the $25 one. So we have to do, what we'll do is either 2 $10 ones back to back. And if we do, we'll just do them back to back. Right.
Yep.
Or we maybe I'll have to see what's available. They might expand it a little bit. They were blocking me from doing an exact 20 set. So we're about to start this one. Everyone's got their stupid underdog picks in. There's 2 people in the waiting room. Bobby's coming in. Sean's coming in. And I think Trosh is coming in. So here we go. Somebody's picking. Why can I not see the top? Oh, it's moving up like a jerk. All right. Someone pick somebody. What do we have here? We have Jonathan Taylor just went. I think everybody came in. I think I'll let everyone in. So
draft day, baby.
All right, my turn. Who is gone? Derrick Henry, McCaffrey. I knew Tom was going to grab Henry. So I'm so on the fence with this, whether or not I want to do Jefferson or Kupp. I've been back and forth all year long. Kupp was just so damn. I know the ceiling might be higher with Jefferson, but I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. Problem with this is, do they have another grid I can show on Yahoo? That's one of the problems with Yahoo and sharing the screen. You can't see who everyone drafts. So basically, when you draft someone, if you could just tell us where you drafted them and why, and not muting anybody, so y'all just talk away. All we're looking for is no dead air, because this is on CBS Radio. So anyone wants to chime in, welcome on. I think everyone's unmuted. So morning,
Sean O'Toole in the building. What's up, Sean?
Hey, buddy.
How we doing, brother?
Welcome back.
I'm doing pretty good. Who from the Bucks is going to be your first pick? Are we going Gronk right off the bat, or you going to go outside the box?
Going Mike Elstad, actually. I heard he's eligible in some leagues. No, I mean, as weird as it is to say, I like Lenny F as the first Buccaneer to be off the board. I do love Mike Evans as well, though. That's a tough one. Just so many mouths to feed. PPR makes it a big difference if your league's PPR, because a guy like Godwin, when he comes back, he'll be catching more balls than a guy like Evans, but Evans has more boom or bust potential. So it's really dependent on what you like. I would go Lenny F or Mike Evans right now, though, is the first buck I would take.
I actually ended up with both last night in the draft.
I like that, Mr. Trosh.
Yeah, I'm not completely like a 12-team league. I'm not complaining about it too much.
No, especially in a 12-teamer. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch.
With Jonathan Taylor, I am not complaining one bit.
That's a nice big 3. Who's your quarterback in that one?
Lamar.
Wow, pretty stacked, it sounds like.
Got DK Metcalf. I got I forget like who else I got, but I know I got like that team is stacked. I got Kadarius Toney in that league. Yeah, that thing can do some damage.
Sounds like you're deep.
How ridiculous is this head and face lettuce getting, man? You look like the Unabomber went to a fish concert. What is happening with you over there?
To be honest, Dave inspired it last year in Nashville, just talking about Waylon Jennings. I just had to embrace it and let it go.
I admire you. At least your hair grows down. If I try to grow my hair out, I just end up looking like Sideshow Bob. So, well,
that's also the other part of it. I'm 31 and I can still grow the hair out. I'm doing it while I can.
Are you since you're 31, are you growing it over a bald spot that's forming?
Oh no,
look, I got hair all over the place.
I think Brian said it best on one of the comments recently. He said, "Hey, look, a homeless guy."
I'm taking Joe Mixon. Call me crazy. I had him last year. I don't actually know where he finished. I think he was in the top 7 in running backs, if I'm not mistaken. He's one of those guys that he'll burn you. You know, he's burned me once or twice, but he was really undervalued last year. I don't have a good handle on his value this year. He's kind of been all over the place in ADP in different leagues I've played in, but I'm a believer. I think their line's a lot better going into this year, and they actually may use him in the passing game a little bit more than they did last year. So.
Oh no, I 100% agreed. Mixon was a huge target for me in best balls. I haven't had a chance to draft him this year, drafting from the 1 and the 2 spot. But if I'm in that range today, like later on with our drafts, I'm smashing that the button on Joe Mixon.
Yeah, so I went back.
I'm gonna be smashing a handle of Jack Daniels.
Well, that's a normal Saturday.
Yeah.
You're just drafting it.
And we're gonna be drafted in the pool this year, man. It doesn't get any better than this.
Oh yeah, Dave. Did you see the Puppy Force coming out on Monday?
The what?
On Underdog, the new they're dropping another puppy on Monday.
Did you call it a 4? A Puppy 4? Is it $4 this time or something, or is it just?
No, it's the 4th puppy tournament that they're doing.
Gotcha.
It's only
now the problem with those now is that they no longer have the slow clocks.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like everyone's gonna have the day off. I mean, like I'll be throwing at least probably 5-10 drafts in there.
Well, since you're talking about that, we're probably going to be doing another best ball with all of us because Tones and Joey didn't get a chance to get into the one we were in. And so we're going to try to organize that for Monday and just find everyone's best time. Because once everyone signs up, it's going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
I don't have any way of pausing it and saying, hey, let the draft begin at 5 p.m. or whatever. So when you get over here today, we'll all figure out a good time and get with them and do. I'd say we at least do one, probably 2 of those, like, $10 tournaments again. Those are fun. They went faster than I expected them to because I didn't know it was going to go to 1 hour so quick.
Yeah.
I thought got it in time it would stay at 8 for at least a little bit.
No, I like that cutoff is for any draft, no matter where it's at when it started.
I do like the fact that they shut it off. Speaking of that, I'm in a couple of that haven't finished yet. I better log in.
Mine are drafted.
Cut it off during that. Yeah, sure enough, I'm on the damn clock. I'm in that SFB 13 league, whatever the hell that.
They had another qualifier.
Yeah, what the hell is his name?
No, I did the earlier qualifier.
Yeah, he used to play for the Texans. Now he's out in Arizona. It's for his charity.
Yeah,
it was only $5 to join, but I signed up right before they made it where you can't do the long ones. All right, so it's coming back to me. Cars draft is coming back to me, and we're in the second round. This is a 10-person league for folks that are wondering what's going on. It's our show league. It's our trophy league. The winner gets a trophy every year. This year, I think I found a cool ring for the person to get, so it doesn't take up so much room in your house. Okay, so it comes to me, and I have got to get on the stick here. I've got Cooper Kupp, and then I'll have a few picks before I can pick again. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get a running back, and I'm not necessarily buying that Saquon Barkley love. I'm going to little bit of a reach. I'm going to grab Javonte Williams. I don't have him in any league right now, I don't believe. Maybe in a best ball.
Yeah, I can't trust. I really can't trust Barkley either. That's why I went Swift. I don't mind Barkley as a guy, but we've been there, done that, 3 years in a row now. And McCaffrey's not on that level yet because he's way more explosive. But how many times can you trust Barkley before you bite yourself? And then you look at your running back depth and there's not much left anymore. I just can't trust the guy.
Not to mention that line is Garbaggio.
Mm-hmm.
So what's he running through? He's going to be running into 9 guys.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing, Sean, is they talk about, well, Daboll's get there and he's going to really. What Buffalo Bill running back have you ever wanted to have since Thurman Thomas?
Marshawn Lynch, Fred Jackson.
I'm always
the end of the list, but
I'm always amazed at how all these coordinators are geniuses when they have generational quarterbacks under center. It's funny how that works.
Good luck with Danny Dimes.
Yeah, we'll see what he does with Danny Dimes trips over his shoelaces in week 1. By the way, Tones and Joey, we got to arrange October 30th. Me and the boy are coming to Indy to properly welcome Pennsylvania back to Indianapolis.
No way.
We're gonna have to organize that because I've got a Wentz jersey and I don't know how I'm gonna make it look PG-13 without getting thrown out of the building to properly welcome him back.
All of a sudden you see on the big jumbotron, wait, I know that guy. Oh dear Lord.
Oh man, security's escorting that guy out. Oh, he's putting up a fight.
Don't say hi to me.
Got good.
Sean's using his independent wrestling moves on fans out there.
Let me tell you, I could put myself in traction for a month brushing my teeth in my mid-40s. I'm not putting anybody in anything.
Oh, that should be a fun game though. You know,
all right, who's up right now? Thank God they didn't take who I need. Of course, I'm going to go Michael Pittman. I'm not a Colts fan or anything, but I'm going to take him like a sucker. They got nobody else to throw
Debo
to,
at
right?
28.
Hey, Bobby's alive.
Bobby.
Bobby.
Hey there.
Did Doug disappear?
No, Doug's still there.
He is? Okay. I can only see so many on my little screen.
What's happening, Doug?
Disappears.
Hey.
I like the beard, Doug. You look like a homeless guy. Grew up listening to Ice Cube with all that Raider stuff on. It's amazing. I'm enjoying it.
So
I should have worn my Derek Carr jersey. Have somebody else to support you. I'm going to take a bit of a reach here. I don't know why I do know why I'm so high in this guy, but I'm all in on Fly Eagles Fly this year. I'm taking AJ Brown. I think they're gonna dance through that division, just personally. But I'm open to suggestions.
Well, there ain't much there in that division, so
no, there really isn't.
You got a point, maybe by default, even, but you have a legitimate.
Yeah, you're playing chess against, as McGee likes to say, you're playing chess against 3 people playing checkers by default with the head coaches in that division.
Amen.
So Steven, my Superflex team just finished.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out real quick. I won't go through the whole thing, but the quarterbacks I got were Herbert and Carr. Justin Herbert and Carr. And then it went down and around a couple of times. I had back-to-back picks. I had the first pick overall, and I went with Herbert because I was trying to line it up with something. No one had taken either one, so I went back-to-back with Jacoby Brissett and Deshaun Watson. So I got 4 quarterbacks. It's a 2-quarterback league that you have to start. So I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I'm looking at my team and
Devontae Adams and Mike Williams, so I was able to couple them with their quarterbacks. And I got Darren Waller and Gerald Everett, the tight end, so I coupled them as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite direction here. I hate my team. I got Herbert, but I have Locke as my 3rd quarterback. I've got Marlon Mack and CEH and Darrell Williams.
No, I'm not gonna lie, my running backs are question marks across the board, but I even drafted Brian Robinson after he got shot. I was like, man, the dude put some testing on and get in there.
Am I going to be the first one to take a quarterback here? I think so, Mr. Josh.
Yeah, that's a good one to take.
Well, in the 4th round already. Okay. So I did get Akers and Dobbins and Cordell Patterson. And then just because the Dobbins question marks and all the injuries and stuff, I also got Gus Edwards on that one. But I feel better about my quarterback and wide receiver. Hopkins fell on that one. So I got Hopkins after he comes off the injury. But then the rest of my receivers are really questionable. I did get AJ Green to couple with him.
Okay.
And I grabbed David Bell. And my last pick, man, I was one pick away from getting Donovan Peoples-Jones, which I would have 2 of their receivers, and they got screwed.
I got to ask Bobby, just because I'm curious to pick everybody's brain on this. Breece Hall taken there at 35. I don't think that team's any good. I think they suck. But am I the only one that watched them last year? Michael Carter was actually really projectable. And I don't know. I keep seeing people saying he might still be the number 1 or it's going to be a horrible timeshare. And I don't know. That line's not any good, but
he wasn't plan A at that pick for sure, but I wasn't going to pick Eli Mitchell. That was no question. I wasn't going to pick him.
That's worse.
And I'm iffy. I'm more iffy on Etienne than I am on Breece Hall. So I think he was not only the safest pick, but probably the best pick at running back there.
Clarify some of these teams. Who is Jake from State Farm?
That is me. I just went with Etienne.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was you or if that was Sean. So, Sean, what is your team?
Country Roads take Mahomes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Who's this? Oh, this is Doug right now. Okay.
I don't want this to trigger Doug, but I love running backs in contract years or what looks like a walk year. Josh Jacobs, I'm just seeing his ADP a lot lower than I think. I think he could actually be good. You know, I don't know if McDaniels is the savior he's been advertised as. I tend to think he's not, but he's got to be better than the special teams coach they had for the last half of the year last year.
Hey, you're not wrong there.
No, I don't. No, I agree with you. And this is Josh McDaniels last year with the Raiders anyway. I mean, they didn't up his 5th year renewal. So I don't see Josh Jacobs doing anything. So as far as his ADP, it's probably right where it should be.
You got 9 seconds, Doug.
Who is Sea of Hands? Is that Doug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh?
He's looking at the newspaper.
What your team name was. I wasn't sure. I figured out the rest. I kind of figured that you had to be Sea of Hands, which makes sense being a Raiders fan.
Yep.
I'm going for it. I got Kelsey here, so I might as well get Mahomes and stack it there. I really think Mahomes is going to be he's like his ADP is still like the quarterback 2 or 3, but I think he's going to end up as the quarterback 1. He's got such a high ceiling, even with Tyreek Hill going away.
So Tom's picking, and then it'll be my pick, and I'm hoping son of a. No, wait. Never mind. I thought he got drafted. I saw a move on the board. I'm going for Allen Robinson. So I've got Robinson now. So yeah,
that's a good one.
Somebody's got to do something.
Yeah.
Don't just stand there. Do something. It'll be the Darrell Henderson show. You don't quit run blocking. You're just encouraging him. So I've got one best ball. At one point, I had 14 best balls going a couple of days ago, Steven. And I was like, man, got to dwindle down before Saturday because I'm going to be up the creek because you don't get the 8 hours in between anymore. For 4 hours, it was going down to 1. Now I'm down to 1 team left. I am in the small ball NBA one, but that one's got that. I don't know how much I like that, man. I'm in round 5 or 6 and I'm already like, who are these guys? I'm over here just finding a Celtic and drafting them.
Yeah, I mean, I played season-long basketball a couple times, and it is rough.
Yeah, I don't ever want to do season long anymore, and now I just want to do the best ball and let the cards fall where they may, because NBA is too boring to actually set lineups.
You guys really want to scoop your brains out with a melon baller? I can invite you to my dynasty hockey league. That'll make you want to put your head through a television set.
I'm going to draft the Russian guy. That's all I know.
Good plan.
What I also found out too, because these are 12-team leagues in the best ball, is if you're going to do the 12-team, dude, you better get one of the top 4 or 5 picks, because when it comes back so my first picks were okay. I got Stephen Curry, and I can't remember who the other person was, but it was 2 solid players. By the time it comes back to you in rounds 3 and 4, there is garbage left. You're like, God bless.
Yeah, basketball's tough to draft after those first couple rounds. The names really fall off.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try to find a couple of like season longs that have like maybe 8 to 10 teams in there. But man, that is just rough.
Feel free to join our basketball league. We're actually looking for 10th.
Is it best ball?
Oh,
I'm not doing because I won't keep up with the lineup. It's too boring. I
don't blame you.
I've tried it 5 times, 5 different years, and each time I go, I'm gonna really take this serious, and then by like week 3, I'm like,
this is where I struggle. Like right now, I'm on the clock. I don't know how much people in fantasy overall. It's more of a general question. I'll make my pick before I ask it, but in terms of but in terms of stacking, like I'm going to take Gabriel Davis right now because I have Josh Allen, but there was probably 4 receivers ahead of him. How much do you like? I know we're all drafted in here, but like for fantasy people out there, how important is stacking to you guys when you're looking at,
season long? It's not as important.
Yeah,
I've got stacking on my brain because Steve and I have been so many best balls in the last month or 2. Yep. So I feel like I want to stack, but it's not necessary. It just isn't.
Yeah, for normal formatting people, like I think it's a little overrated.
You just want the best roster. You don't care about way they go, especially because this isn't a tournament either, right? So you're not.
All right.
But it is fun to stack because then you're like, all right, man, I'm just going to watch the Bills this year. To hell with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it played a little factor.
Get the drag comments ready. I'm gonna reach here. You're gonna see it on the screen in just a second. By the way, I got a text from friend of the show, Brian Crook, asking me if my yellow shirt matches my personality. Shouldn't you be feeding a newborn, you deadbeat? Get off YouTube. Help your wife out.
He's coming at everybody today. I hope the Hurricanes lose to the Little Sisters of the Poor by 75 points.
They're gonna lose.
You're gonna piss off the homeless guy. Well, the homeless guy with the green shirt, not the homeless guy with the gray shirt.
The young homeless.
Too many homeless.
You know what Doug looks like with that beard? He looks like if Lovie Smith had the Michael Jackson skin surgery. Get that Lovie Smith freaking beard.
Sean, I knew you were going to Monroe. Like when you did it last night, I was like, "What are you doing?"
I'm not wearing the shirt right now, but I own one. He's the sun god, man. It's everything's coming up golf this year. We're on Hard Knocks. Everything's coming up golf.
Man, I'm telling you, I think first of all, I think they're going to be competitive this year, but I think that's one of the better Hard Knocks.
Dan Campbell's entertaining on there for sure. I went back-to-back wide receivers. I reached a little bit as well with Godwin given his injury, but he's supposed to be ready by week 2 or 3. So once he's back, I feel like you could get Godwin right now for a steal of a draft value in some drafts out there.
I don't know how big a reach that Ramon-Ra St. Brown pick is because I almost took him when I grabbed Allen Robinson because of the receivers that were left. I thought to myself, man, do you want 2 receivers on the same team? I said, you know what? I never do it. Screw it. I'm doing it. But
I don't have any idea what's going to happen with this team, but this guy is languishing way past his ADP in every league I've been in. So I'm going to take DJ Moore. I don't feel great about it, but if Baker is even
do worse,
if Baker's even competent compared to what they had last year at quarterback, DJ Moore's got the tools. He's always had the tools.
Absolutely.
And he's one of those. He's in the Deshaun Jackson Hall of Fame. I mean, he's one of those guys that drives you nuts for all the weeks of 2 for 25, and then you've got him on the bench the week he goes 9 for 172 and 2 touchdowns. But it's in there.
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
I'm going to really regret this draft pick because well, first off, I hate Seattle, but their quarterbacks. Metcalf got the bag. Screw it. I'm going to take him, but those quarterbacks are just ugly. Like, how do you end up
Metcalf
with
and DJ Moore might as well be the same player. Two incredible talents. They just got to find a way to get them the damn ball.
Yep. Talent is there, and I like, especially for Moore, I think this is the breakout. I mean, he's had one of the best starts to a career that any receivers had. I think 4 straight years of 1,000 yards, even with all like Cam Newton and Sam Darnold. I mean, like,
be careful getting him in Dynasty. How long you hold on to him? Because that bastard says he eats 3 bags of Skittles every day, dude. There's going to be a year when he's going to come to the damn mini camp, and he's going to look like Eddie Lacy, and you're going to be like, whoa.
I mean, it worked for Marshawn Lynch. I mean, what is DJ Moore's only 25 years old. I mean, I'm buying a Dynasty too. I mean, it's like there's just so much potential.
Metcalf said that's all he eats is candy.
Oh, Metcalf. Oh, look at Marshawn Lynch. Same thing.
Well, Marshawn Lynch did turn into a fat ass. I mean, but I'm saying that Metcalf, what makes him great is how athletic he is, right? And just stupid off the board. And he can do that in his 20s, but he gets to the late 20s. I'm just saying, man, there's some turkey in there every once in a while.
I'm very curious at how many running backs we still have left on the board that are based on how you feel about them, definitely number one running backs. I'm counting like 7 or 8, but it's interesting.
I'll be taking one of them, but one of my next picks. I am hurting. I am not trusting.
I think there's a lot more depth at running back than there has been in previous years that people are sleeping on guys,
fully agree with that statement.
Like a guy like Rashad Penny that everyone's forgetting about. I mean, he's still 10, 15 picks away, and we're going to the 7th round. I don't remember that in previous years. Not to mention there's much more guys past him, but I'm trying not to scroll past and mess up the screen. So I'm going off of memory, but
Penny's super interesting because Pete is old school and he wants to run the ball, and everybody's worried about Kenneth Walker III stealing touches. But I don't know. Call me crazy, guys. We've only been watching football for 4 decades. Aren't rookie running backs the one thing that you can never, almost ever count on? Like 1 out of every 100 pops off compared to wide receivers. So I mean, I know he single-handedly gave my Wolverines their only regular season loss.
You still have, I don't know, I'm going to cut you off, but you still have Edmonds, who's a lot of people are big on. Jacobs, Penny, Gibson should have a bigger role now.
Unfortunately.
Stevenson.
Hunton Patterson.
Pollard, Singletary, I mean, all those guys, I mean, some of them, deep in the draft, if you really want to get some depth, there's Kenneth Walker down there.
Someone's going to take Kareem Hunt crazy late in one of their leagues, and he's going to get traded somewhere when someone gets hurt and blow up. And I've heard multiple people say that if, he does get out of Cleveland, if they get rid of him and dump him somewhere, could it be somewhere that, gets a horrible injury, right? What if Miles Sanders blows his ACL in week 1 and they trade for Hunt?
No, but like on that note, if you're doing any more best balls, that makes Dearness Johnson a great late round pick. So I mean, like he takes the number 2 running back role, he could pop off.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, the only thing if I have him, it's got to be because I'm handcuffing him.
Yep. Well, no, like I'm saying best ball.
Oh yeah. Best ball's a totally different story. I mean, hell, I'm over there telling you how I'm trying to get Donovan Peoples-Jones in best ball, and I'm pissed off that I didn't fall to me. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Doug went, Rashad Penny there. So now I'm up. I need another running back.
I think when you do that, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make sure that Kenneth Walker falls to me at some point, because the hype is there. You just don't know when it's going to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Breece Hall thing. You better get Michael Carter, because Breece Hall's not even starting yet. Unless unless you're not even planning on him being in your starting plans for a minute.
And you never know with the Jets backfield. I could see, like Sean alluded to earlier, Carter played pretty dang good, especially down the stretch in some games last year. So you never know who Robert Saleh might stick with when it comes mid-season.
Who do you guys think between these two guys? They're still up pretty high up on the draft board. I'm not looking for a receiver right now, but a former Steeler and then a Steeler himself. Who would you guys put more trust in, Deontay Johnson or Juju Smith-Schuster this season?
Juju.
Probably Juju. Yeah. The early stuff out of Pittsburgh is that it might be Pickett over Trubisky, which is bad, and Pickens has looked like he might go Justin Jefferson in year one.
I could see it.
His physical tools were always there. If you watch SEC as much as most of us do, he always had the potential. He just didn't have it between the ears, and that was always Kirby's big problem with him. But
both deal with some injury issues, so I was just curious to see your guys' thoughts.
Oh yeah, Johnson's always one hamstring injury away from being off your roster for 4 weeks. He's made of glass.
And well, I mean, like that was the perfect time to ask that question because I really gave you my answer of how I thought about that tier in general. And I went Rashad Bateman. I left Deontay Johnson and Juju on the board.
So right now, this is Colts 28 is about to draft here in a minute. This is his team.
Yes,
I just want to get people got kind of caught and get an idea. After that, it's Bobby. This is his team so far.
Okay.
And then what do we have? Sean.
It's in order.
That's his team so far. And Tony throws me off. And this is his name.
Your real name. Why would you ever go by your real name, kid? Come on.
Yahoo does it, man. They assign you these epic names upon arrival.
I love my quarterbacks this year. I know that much.
Ooh, you like the burners.
Well, I got Jackson and Hurts.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You can thank Troche for that because I was going to take Bateman and that bastard took Bateman. So I was like, well, I'm going with the theory that one of these running quarterbacks is going to get their legs decapitated. So I better get two.
Yeah.
So Will just kneecapped me, but I'm going to give away a player I like for the year. Every year there's a tight end that kind of comes out of nowhere and usually finishes top 3 or 4, or at least is undervalued and finishes top 3 or 4. I love Dalton Schultz this year. Cooper's gone. Jarwin had to retire. I do think they'll use Zeke and Pollard a little bit more in the passing game, but McCarthy's never had a big propensity for having his tight ends in his blockers, and they have other tight ends they'll use for that. They have other guys with Jarwin gone. Schultz could really pop off. So it's back to me, best player available. I don't know. I'm crazy about this guy just because he's in a contract year. I go back and look at the history of running backs and wide receivers in contract years. More of them hit than don't. So I'm not going to leave Jacobs sitting out there. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about his load because they dumped Drake. And I mean, I don't really think Bolden is going to take that many touches from him. He might, vulture some goal line touchdowns, but I don't know. I think Jacobs is going to have a better year than where he's being drafted.
Going back off Dalton Schultz, do you think it's unreasonable to say that he will finish above Darren Waller and George Kittle?
It's not unreasonable to expect that. It's like, what were the top 3 going into last year, right? It was probably Kelsey 1, Kittle
Andrews.
2, and maybe Andrews 3, but I think Andrews.
No, Waller 3.
Waller 3, right. But Andrews, I think, finished top 2 in points if he didn't finish 1 over Kelsey. I mean, Andrews was a stud last year if you got him, and you probably got him as the 5th or 6th tight end off the board in some leagues. So
yeah.
Wonder why the highest ranked running back left, everyone clearly isn't high on Chase Edmonds this year. We all must have a little tiff with him.
I almost went there in my last pick, but I saw Bateman still there, and I had to stay on brand. I've been like pushing Bateman up all training camp. So
I love the possibilities of Edmonds, especially in best ball.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to sweat whether you're starting him or not. In season long, I just feel like he's a good value, but don't go crazy and start him in week 1 because you don't know what you're going to get yet.
Correct.
I'll go ahead and take him there.
Yeah,
oh,
I just
Bobby,
one
was
to pick
that
him.
you?
Yeah, that's Bobby.
I'm happy getting him there. I got
No, I mean, I'm up right now and I needed a running back. I was between him and Gibson and hey.
CEH is there. Go for it.
I don't, I already got Cook and Swift. Gibson doesn't get a lot of love, but for not having to start him, I feel like he's a good filler. I feel like kind of if he's your third running back, he's not bad to have on your team. I'm going to take him.
So
I think the best running back to pick here is
the roster is set up where we have one quarterback, two receivers, two running backs, a tight end, and two flexes. So you can fill that out however you want. Obviously, it's not a super flex; it's just two flexes.
No kicker. I just noticed that.
Thank God. Make that stop. I still have one or two leagues that have them. I'm like, make that stop, please.
We've got him in some of the older school leagues that I'm just not going to go and change the settings, because there's going to be that one guy who goes, man, I was planning on keeping Justin Tucker. What the hell did you do to me? But I'm just like, whatever.
If there is that person, I just tell them to no, drop it, shut up.
The worst suggestion I ever got is a guy brought up a rule change to make every field goal worth 3 points. Now, if you're going to keep kickers, how the heck does that make sense in any stretch of the – that kid almost got booed out of the live draft. Like, come on.
I'm going to go ahead and take Marquise Brown for my
love that pick.
Flex.
Yeah.
Love that pick. First 6 weeks, he's going to rake those first 6 weeks with DeAndre out.
Well, what you like about him is especially if it's a good matchup, you just put him in a flex. You hope for the best. He could be a dud, but he could also get one of those long touchdown passes. It's like, yes, money.
Yeah.
I hope I find him some higher quality stick him in the desert than he had in Baltimore, because Lord, I think he dropped 4 catches for 220 yards against the Lions in that Tucker game last year.
All right, it's back up to me. I need a third running back. I am going to I've been high on this guy all season. I'm so glad he lasted here. Give me all the Tony Pollard.
Oh no, I was wrong.
That's a good one.
He's going to be lining all indications are he's going to be lining up in the slot week 1. And I mean, just that that added element to get that from a running back, throw out in the flex, and with Zeke getting near the end of his deal, I love the upside there.
I just think Zeke's getting overdrafted. I did it last year in the in-person draft. It was one of those things I didn't want him, but I said to myself, you can't not draft him. He's there. And then I drafted him. I regretted it the entire damn season.
Yeah, I think looks like Will got him in the mid to early fourth. I think that is like the ceiling of where I draft him. But I'm like, if I'm getting him,
you better have a backup plan. In other words, get Pollard, or you better go. I think if I go Zeke, it's because he's one of 3 running backs I'm taking very early.
See, if I'm taking Zeke, I already have 2 starting running backs, and he's just kind of insurance.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like either I'm taking him and I'm planning on taking someone else in the very near future, or B, I've gone running back, and I'm just being a running back whore at that point. And I'm just like, I'll figure out the receivers later.
Yeah. Oh, Doug, why did you do that? Took Brandon Ayuk from me.
Gotcha.
Oh, that kind of throws my plan out the window.
That's what you all get for calling him homeless. He's stealing people now.
Mm-hmm.
Homeless stealing from the homeless. How can you do that? Well, I think I'm gonna
Cam Newton.
Yeah, do it.
I was thinking Cordell Stewart, but
the Colts are selecting Cam Newton off the waiver wire right now.
Oh, that's harsh.
All right, so as my 4th running back here, I do like Kareem Hunt. I like Ramondre Stevenson, but I think Melvin Gordon's got a real shot to take over that backfield if Javonte Williams doesn't start the year hot.
All right, so I probably need another running back at this point, and this guy's going way too damn low. He's not going to get back to me again. Cordell Patterson is still a beast. And I really don't, and since he's a flex, I'm not worried about his output realistically, but folks are sleeping on that guy. I thought about taking Gordon, my last pick, but I don't know if I want two running backs on the same team because I'm always going to be questioning, oh, who should I start this week?
Yeah.
You're always wrong and you're always pissed off. I'd rather be pissed off about other things. Like the designated hitter in the National League.
I was mad at that at first, but it's here. I like with so many injuries to pitchers, be like just from base running and hitting. I'd rather the pitchers stay healthy and like it gets more offense.
How about my Braves getting a hold of Alcantara last night?
Getting a hold of him.
Ding dong, the ditch is dead.
Hey, if there was any night that could have happened, I'm glad it was last night because Doug started him, and that just completely swung everything in my favor.
Shut up about Alcantara. God.
Doug, you're getting pounded in the Dynasty League. What the hell's going on? Doug, you're getting absolutely trashed in the Dynasty League.
I know I am.
That probably would have been me if I would have paid attention.
But then again, it's all right. I mean, for the most part this season, your team, especially in the both leagues, I've been using you as a stepping stone for most of the season. But
so how about this? Y'all gonna love this in the Dynasty League. First of all, Trost didn't realize it was the playoffs, so he didn't make his pickups in the first round. And then the second round, playing Justin, and he got so overconfident because he was up by over 100 points in Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was, that he wasted all his pickups to build for the future. He picked up like 4 guys coming up this week, right?
Ooh.
And he's setting it up so he'll have a good team next year because he thought it. Dude, my team has went scalding hot the last couple of nights. I had Spencer Strider go the hell off.
Ooh.
Anyways, long story short, he woke up this morning. He's down by 75. And he's out of pickups, and we have about the same amount of starts left.
So that's rough.
I should be in good, but I'm not looking forward to playing David because his team looks good. It's sitting on all cylinders.
Yeah. And that, like, actually in the trophy league, I'm if I beat Doug, I'm going to play you in the final, right?
Probably. I'm playing Michael right now. I think I've got a pretty good lead on him right now, but I haven't looked at starts and all that stuff. I've been so focused on the Dynasty League and then also paying attention to all these stupid drafts that I'm in.
Keep doing that. Like, I want to add a trophy to my collection.
All right, I'm going a little bit off the board with my second pick. I needed a quarterback, so I took Dak. I talked about my love for rookie receivers earlier. There's one that I don't think is getting talked about as much as some others. And as much as it pains me to ever draft a Buckeye, I'm on the Olave train. I think Jameis is going to hook up with him early and often, and Thomas is unreliable. They have no tight ends. I think it's going to be Olave and Kamara. And I actually don't think they're going to be very good, but I think they'll put a lot of points up.
I know. No, I love Olave, but I think like that offense with Jameis is going to be another like basically Evans and Godwin 2.0 with Thomas and Olave.
McGee, did he get LASIK again this offseason? Because that was the thing going into last year, is that he got LASIK. Then he tore his Achilles or tore his ACL.
Should be healthier. At least that ACL.
He got X-ray glasses this offseason, so he's really going to be. His numbers were actually pretty damn good.
They were.
Injury.
Yep.
It was low volume, high efficiency, but hopefully that'll open up with Thomas back, Dennis Allen in, kind of just letting the offense go.
And if Alvin Kamara can quit putting them things on people, you know.
I'll need that with my team. He's my running back 1.
So it comes to me, and son of a gun, Carr keeps sniping me. That's the second time I've had someone eyed, and he grabs them right before me. All right, so comes to me, and oh my word, running back. I guess I could get some depth. And what do we have left in the running back play? Not a whole lot. No, we do not. You know what? What do we got it? Has anyone slept on tight ends? They have slept on tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers. Still some pretty good depth at wide receiver. You know what? I can use him when he comes off the thing. I'm going to go ahead and grab DeAndre Hopkins at the end. So now I've got Hopkins and I've got Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At this point, I don't mind reaching because I've got my team full.
True.
Not counting defense because I never do. I always, stream those bastards.
Yeah, I saw somebody went ahead and snagged Buffalo, and I've been in a few drafts this year, and I've seen defenses go earlier than I've seen in previous years, which is just boggles my brain because there's always streamers. There's always streamers.
Because I see Anthony on auto pick is, I guess he left.
Yeah, that must have been it. Yeah, he took Buffalo, which seems to be the in vogue one I've seen in the drafts I've been in earlier this year. And
I don't know why that is, because that's another reason why I don't pick a defense early, because Buffalo, and I get that they made some additions, but they also play at a high, fast pace, which means their defense is going to be on the field more often too.
A lot. Yep. And they play a first place schedule. I mean, they're not. Right. It's not like they're playing suckers this year. So
yeah, I feel like that first game could be a problem. You're gonna go. You're gonna go out there, Buffalo against the Rams. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. For me, if I'm drafting the defense, it is like solely with weeks 1 and 2 in mind. I'm not drafting a defense like putting myself in a hole.
Yeah, that's why and I do like the fact that our leagues, the defenses are a little more valued.
Yeah.
So they're not just afterthoughts, because if you're going to do like a defense like they do on ESPN default settings, you might as well just do like you do a kicker and get rid of it. But even with that being said, every year there's 5 defenses that comes off the board that are overrated, and there are 5 defenses sitting on the waiver wire that by week 3 you're like, damn man, this defense is good this year.
Mm-hmm. Like, just look at Washington's defense last year. Everybody drafted them with probably they were in the top 5.
Yep.
All right, so I've got an interesting choice here. I've got 4 running backs, so I'm not really too concerned with depth. I can wait a little bit. I'm going strictly for talent and upside. You picked your rookie receiver, Sean, and we talked about this guy before. I'm buying the talent. Give me George Pickens.
It's a good pick. Can't hate on it.
Oh, I thought I was gonna be able to do my Seinfeld impression. Instead, I'll do it now. Love the Drake. Who's the Drake? Love the Drake. I took the Drake.
No, that is a fascinating team, because I think they'll be bad, but I actually think they'll score points. So in fantasy, they could be a gold mine. Not so great for the real life, but
I don't know how crazy I am about the fact that I just realized I've got 2 Falcons on my teams, but
Patterson and
as long as I don't end up with their defense, I'll be okay.
Might as well get Algier now.
Well, it's too late to grab Pitts. If I'd have known what I know now, man, I just went all Dirty Bird.
Mariota's still there.
It's a short drive from St. Augustine. Good tickets still available for those home games. So
I think Joey's awake. I can see him. There he is. You haven't said anything in a while. You're muted.
You're muted, or your headphone's not connected. Nobody can hear you.
I don't know if I can. You should be unmuted now. Well, I don't know. Anyways, he's on the clock, so let him focus on that, or distract the hell out of him. Let him end it with some Justin Fields in his life.
Ooh.
Go ahead and get my Breece Hall insurance. There we go.
Oh, Michael Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he pissed off his brother because Tones is going next, and he had his eye on that defense. That reminds me. Okay, so I'm assuming Tones drafted him. Russell Wilson. Who took Tom Brady?
I was just going to look at that.
Because I don't see him on the board, and Tones doesn't have him. So did he just
Carr has him
again?
Carr.
Oh wow. Carr, I hate to tell you, but Tones is gonna be knocking on your door very soon.
With a very juicy trade offer. Where you going, Country Roads?
I have a lot of decisions to make. Again, it's just bench depth at this point. But
Jared Goff.
no, I'm gonna take Kenneth Walker III. He may not pop, but I just have no idea what that offense is gonna be. They're gonna have bad quarterbacks. So I have a sneaking suspicion, even if it doesn't work, they're gonna keep trying to run the ball. He may not pan out until later in the year, once Penny has gotten hurt for the 5th time, because he gets hurt every year.
Yeah, I mean, like best ball, I took a few shots on Penny, but I'm so scared to do it in season long. It feels like I'm drafting Byron Buxton. I mean, that actually worked out this year and last year.
Doug, Steven, are y'all the only two in here that are coming over today, I guess? Brent, strap on your feed bags, man. We've got cheese sticks. We got chicken nubbies that are going to be in buffalo sauce. And I'm making also making country style ribs and rice.
Ooh. Good
already.
Lord. You're making me hungry.
I gained 3 pounds just saying that whole little diatribe.
How much is a one-way on Southwest of St. Augustine? Jesus.
Oh, it's going to be great drafting from the pool. Like I'm making a picture of Tom Collins. It is going to be the best draft day we've had in a while.
Who drowns first? I mean, I'm assuming we all drown, but who drowns first?
Doug.
We're going to have we're going to try to save whoever's drowning. We're all going to have cramps from the food, and we're all going to it's going to be a wrap.
All right, here's an interesting projectable for me, and this is the second time I've taken this guy, but some of the D targets in Kansas City have to go to somebody, and I just don't believe that they're going to go to a guy from frickin' Western Michigan or wherever the hell Sky Moore is from. So I'm taking MVS. That was always his stock and trade in Green Bay was, he would get deep down the field, and whoever took Mahomes earlier, I think it might have been Trosh. I can't remember.
Thank God, because I'm tired of MVS pissing me off every year. I may not draft him, but he'll end up on my team. Go, this is the week, man. This is the week. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean he's not even active? Wait, what?
I would ask Joey what he's doing, or what he's thinking.
So Joey's got the pick. Let's look at his team real quick. Oh, he already made the pick. Hey, he grabbed Hines. Nyheim Hines.
Get her done.
Oh, he did it. He did the thing.
Man, Carr couldn't have drafted Burks fast enough.
All right, so it's my turn. And I think this gentleman will eventually be the starting running back. I'm going to grab James Cook.
Okay. Little snipey snipe, but it's a good pick.
I need some depth because my running backs aren't I don't hate my running backs, but I can't necessarily say that they'd be my first pick to the prom.
Yeah.
They're the ones I would hook up behind the gym afterwards. Well, you don't tell anybody, we can do this.
Man, I am so surprised he fell. I am taking Kadarius Toney, just drafting the upside again.
He might be Wade.
He reminds me of. He reminds me of the guy that, shoot, his name just escaped me. Ex-Gator that was in Seattle and went to the Jets.
Oh, Percy Harvin?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's killed as many people as Percy Harvin probably did.
I mean, I was gonna say almost Toney reminds me of Peter Warwick. Just that with the raw playmaking ability.
Except Peter Warwick was exciting in college, but man, he got in the NFL, and I don't know if it was the offense or whatever, but I never saw it. I really thought he was going to be lightning in a bottle in the NFL, man. He's just not.
That was me with Devin Hester. I thought a team would finally learn how to use him on offense, but
Hello.
Hey. Hey.
What the heck happened? All of a sudden, I have Buccaneers defense. I couldn't talk out of my computer. I am the homeless one today.
We put the voodoo on you.
I would looked at my phone. I saw Bucks defense. I'm like, I'm not Tampa Tones. What the hell's going on?
Actually, saying like you probably pissed them off there.
I think I got hacked literally when he left the house, everything went to crap.
EMP'd you.
Good to be back with you fellas though, because I had quite a few things to say and apparently none of them were heard. So maybe it's better that way for the viewership. I don't know.
All right, just gonna see what other running backs are here.
I'll pull that up since you're looking at it.
James Cook was the one that I was gunning for in that range, but I'm gonna go.
You have Dalvin because Madison's still there.
No, I think I've been hearing that like there have been trade rumors around Madison. I mean, he's all right.
I said the same thing about Gesicki freaking everyone out in best ball, and then 3 days later, never mind. I was like, oh man, I went and drafted Nyoku instead. What the hell was I doing?
I'm gonna go and grab Kenneth Gainwell here. I mean, we've all seen like no one trusts that Miles Sanders is gonna stay healthy, and Gainwell's he's gonna have a role in that offense day one. If like Sanders goes out, that's just even more upside.
I'm gonna grab Freiermuth because if you're gonna have, make sure he doesn't have the same bye week before I do that stupid joke. Okay. If you're gonna have Mark Andrews, you better have a good second option in case he gets injured. Because the team's kind of built around the fact you're going to get points off your tight end.
Yeah.
Who is coming up next that we're seeing? Joey, Colts 28.
I'm relying a lot on the Bills.
I see that. And that's
okay. Who just took Madison? That was my chain link to Dalvin Cook. Gosh.
Sniped him.
Oh, I literally was
Will always does that. I've noticed this in other leagues. You'll have a Dalvin Cook or whoever, right? And you'll go, well, who ended up with my backup? And it's always Will.
I mean, his backup's still on the board though.
He does it on purpose.
I know he does, and then like he won't drop them, so he'll have them all year and complain about the fact that he's got this crappy bench. And I'm like, but what the hell, man? Come on.
What'd you say, Bobby?
Said Swiss backup still on the board, Jamal.
Yeah, I know, and that's where I'm thinking now because I needed to handcuff one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the Lions' offense this year. I don't know about that defense. They had those joint practices with the Colts. Their defense wasn't much to look at, but this offense, why not? I'm going to take Jamal Williams to help out just in case Swift goes down.
I'll go ahead and snag my backup quarterback.
Oh, well, that was quick. All right. So I'll go to Sean. I was going to talk about your team there for a second, but you just said bleep, bleep.
I was waiting on Kirk. I was hoping he'd follow the man. I need that backup quarterback.
You like that?
So Sean's got this is Sean's team, and he's got 2 picks in the next 4, sandwiched in between Anthony's, Tony's, Tones. Tony Tones.
Steven, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, Steven. I need a backup quarterback. I believe.
You know what?
I believe.
What's happening right now?
I believe. Fins up.
No.
You know what's happening right now? Brian Crook is having a freaking stroke because they're showing the replay of the Ohio State Miami national title game where the pass interference was called at the end and Ohio State won.
Oh, the Ken Dorsey game?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
You got to talk about it. It's the last time your team was relevant.
They'll be relevant again in a few weeks when Middle Tennessee comes down there and covers. Everybody gets really scared.
Playing the Hurricane?
Yeah. Yep. In the horse. Wow. In the U. I think it's in. I don't remember if it's next week or it's week 4. So.
Let's say let's go, but I'm having surgery then, so that would be a no-go.
Yeah, I'm not going down to watch that crap. I mean, maybe if it was in Murfreesboro, you could talk me into it, but I don't want to be one of 16 people in the stands.
Can't
We'll
get any.
probably play the damn thing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so the sun will just be melting us.
Can't talk anybody into coming and playing in Murfreesboro. I mean, you can stay home and get syphilis for free.
Didn't Murfreesboro host a pretty decent named school recently?
Recently, I'm struggling to remember who it was. We were supposed to have a
It was
home.
a Power 5.
We were supposed to have a home and home with Missouri starting this year, and they backed out of it. So,
Scared.
I don't know that was the reason. Maybe. Who knows? I'm not one to say.
Steelers Blue Raiders.
Got a couple of spots I need to fill. I don't like a lot of things that are on the board, but I do think this guy might vulture some touches. I'm going to grab Mostert. He's good for a knee injury every year, unfortunately. But if anything happens to Edmonds in that backfield and he stays healthy, he always has a 16 carries for 140 yards game at least once a year.
And he's staying in that same system, coming over with McDaniel.
Yep. Trick is guessing when it's going to come, but
I'll go ahead and grab another Texan here. Give me Nico Collins.
Oh, I love Nico.
He's been getting a lot of hype recently.
Yep. And
he's going to be wide receiver too.
You're always one unfortunate targeting away from Cooks' career being over. Unfortunately, I don't like to make light of that, but the dude has had his bell rung plenty of times. Nico was a stud at Michigan, and they're an interesting team, man. I'm a big Davis Mills believer. I don't know where the vitriol against him comes from. If you actually were forced to watch their games last year, which I was a few times, he's good. He
exceeded expectations.
He's better. He's a top 15 quarterback in real NFL coming into the year.
That's
top
a little
15.
high.
That's a stretch. Come on.
Top 20
Okay.
maybe, but top 15.
Okay.
Who?
Okay. We'll
Davis
rank 'em.
Mills.
We can rank them all another time, but maybe I'm reaching by saying 15, but he isn't lower than 20. There's not 12.
Talking about dynasty, or are we talking about this year?
Just as a real life quarterback.
Just normal.
Just as a real life quarterback.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I watch a decent amount of Texans ball, and he was completely competent, and I like where he's
I
at.
thought he was pretty good, man, to be honest.
No, he was, but I mean, it's all about taking that next step. I don't see that next step. I think he's one of those guys who will be a pretty good, decent quarterback his NFL career, but I don't see him taking that step where he makes a bad Texans team pretty good just based off quarterback play. I don't think he's that transcending. He'll get you through a game competently. I just don't see him as being a game changer. I see him as more of the game manager, which is fine. Texans need that, but I don't see him taking the next step to get into that, where he's winning games for them. I think he just doesn't lose games for them. And that's not a knock. I just see him as a middle of the pack quarterback who doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Very smart guy from Stanford, but I don't know if he's going to, knock home a lot of 4 touchdown games or anything like that.
I'll ask you this. You need a quarterback to win you a game in the fourth quarter. You taking Davis Mills or Gardner Minshew?
Oh, it's Minshew mania, baby. In the fourth quarter? Minshew gets up for those moments.
You got to take your boy Davis come on, you just talked good about him. Now you're going on Minshew mania.
Yeah. Context the question. He said fourth quarter, you need to win in the fourth quarter. Have I seen Minshew do that? Yes. Several
Fair.
On your back.
Fair.
Where is he still behind Hurts in Philly, or did they dump him?
No, I love that scenario for him.
Yeah.
I think he's still he should be a starter in this league.
He
could start, like if he was in Pittsburgh, imagine what that offense could do.
No, I mean I agree there. His stats back it up. For
the line may get him killed and call me crazy. I love Pickett, man. I love Pickett. I think he might actually be really, really good. And
what week do you think he gets in?
Well, that he's not going to be the week 1 starter. Have they even said yet?
No,
I mean, I think you have to try Trubisky with the contract you gave him, but man, between management and those fans, you could clearly tell it's the Kenny Pickett show.
You don't have to do anything. I mean, I came on these airwaves last year and said, this is finally the year Mike Tomlin has a losing season. He's just never going to have a losing season. It's never going to happen. We could give him MTSU's roster and just do a roster swap, and he's still going to go 9-8.
I agree.
He's never going to he's never going to have a losing season.
I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a platoon system either.
Yeah. Yeah, he might do what Harbaugh does. Start one in week 1 and one in week 2. Let me tell you how much I love that.
You got a rookie quarterback, and let's say you're going to put him in every third possession. He gets 2 possessions to go sit on the sidelines and look at video and get tutored in between. And to me, that's the best way to do it. Now, don't do like the old Steve Spurrier crap where it was like every other play and their quarterbacks are running in off the sidelines because you're not learning anything there except what not to do. But I mean, it's with young quarterbacks like that. I think it's a smart idea that you don't see enough teams do because they feel pressured that they have to name one guy their starter.
Yeah, and both have had a pretty good preseason statistically. Obviously, Trubisky's been seeing more of the,
Same thing with Malik Willis. Malik Willis, if I'm the Titans, I know he's going to be my starter next year. At least once every 4th possession, he's coming in some kind of a package.
Yep.
And then when he comes out, if he did well, you go, okay, that's good. If he did bad, you go, this is why we're telling you that you're not the starter yet.
I wonder if we'll see more teams do that this year. It hasn't been an in vogue thing, except as a necessity, right? The Saints did it a lot last year, early with Hill and Winston, and then Winston got hurt, and it was just Hill. But I wonder if we'll start to see some more things like that. The Eagles would be a prime candidate to at least try it because Minshew's a traditional passer. Hurts can do more zone read stuff if you need him to, and you actually have to at least honor the threat that he can take off with the ball.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
We're coming up on the end. I'm gonna give somebody a name. This team is their backfield is endlessly confounding. But Isaac Pacheco, does anybody have a good read on what you think Kansas City's backfield is going to look like? You got CEH, McKinnon, Pacheco, and they kept Rojo. I thought they'd cut Rojo and somebody else would pick him up. And they're just like 4 deep now.
Man, I think that's one of those things you're just going to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like there's good competition ahead of him, and if there's any opportunity for an undrafted back to take over, he is the one.
I know who it's not going to be. I said it last year, and I'll say it again. Tones, if you listen, it ain't going to be Rojo. Dude sucks.
Man, that was a top 3 back and forth last year was the Rojo one. And you
remember he used to defend him and you don't hear any love for Rojo now that he's not a Buck. It was all Peter glasses.
And I can't say anything because I'm in the same roof. He'll take an iron club to my head if I came in.
He'll mute your ass again and draft another Buccaneer for you.
He definitely did that on purpose. I'm gonna have to get to the bottom of that.
He was someone that I know he was frustrating all Bucs fans, but he would always have one drive a game where they'd give him the ball a couple times and he'd stiff arm a dude and break one off for 14. You're like, Rojo, here we go. And then the next play he'd fumble, but it would roll out of bounds, and you just see Arian's soul leave his body. He just want to strangle him on national television.
Yeah, he had that 190 something yard run the one time. Besides that, there's not much tape to put out there. Nice guy, good guy, but
also running behind one of the best offensive lines the last couple of years, which is now started to tell Bucs fans a decimated offensive line. Like Brady may actually retire again. Blame it on Giselle, just because the whole line is busted up.
Yeah, I gotta go. Giselle's vacation time. It's like, well, you've been sacked 10 times in the first 2 weeks. But we don't say that. You never know where he's lurking. All right, it's my turn. I'm picking a quarterback for fun. I want to go Lawrence because me and my brother have the argument who's going to be better this year in real football, Lawrence or Trey Lance. That's actually hyped up a lot in the family. We probably argue about that once a week. If you just for regular NFL, if you're trusting your guy to go into one game this year, you picking Lawrence or Mr. Trey Lance for week 1?
Lawrence.
Yeah, T-Law.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Lawrence do something. I know last year wasn't great, and a lot of us projected better for him than what he had. He was also being coached by, the worst coaching staff ever assembled in the history of the National Football League, and a total fraud and a cheerleader creeper. Just to have competent head coach and offensive coaches in there this year, I think is going to make a big difference for Jacksonville. And I haven't seen it with Lance yet. The fact that they kept Jimmy, that is red flag city, man. That is all kinds of bad for me.
That has week 3 replaced written all over it.
Yep. Yeah, a few bad games out of him, and Jimmy's going to be back in the starting lineup.
A few bad games. I'm going to say a few bad series in week 1, and they're going to move to Jimmy.
That's a win-win for both sides to me with Jimmy, because Jimmy G now will look like the hero if he ever gets in. He gets paid that backup money, and then San Fran, you're not taking a huge risk with Lance now because you got a quarterback who took you to the Super Bowl.
Bobby, you glorified kindergartner. You sniped Dotson right out from under me.
I was thinking about taking McKenzie, but I saw that Dotson was still available.
I love Dotson. Even though
glorified kindergartner.
even though Wentz sucks, and I hate Wentz, he can't be any worse than he was last year. And if he gets hurt, Heineke can't throw it 30 yards, but he can throw it 12. Dotson is a maximum possession receiver. I've got to finally take a defense. I can't believe how low I'm seeing this one get drafted this year. Am I the only one that saw all the things the Chargers added in the offseason, and they get to play Denver twice? I mean, I know they've got 2 games against Kansas City, but the rest of their schedule is favorable.
Hey, man, they just locked up Russell Wilson for the next 26 years. Don't be laughing at that. I'm like, he's like 52. What are you doing signing him to an extension? What are you doing?
Their offensive line still sucks, too.
I'd like to see him play at least one game in Denver before I sign him to an extension. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, although the quarterback play there, I think any of us here could have been better than what they've had over the past few seasons after their Super Bowl.
It's true. All right, Trosh, go ahead. Get the gun. Start loading the gun. I'm about to do something you are really, really going to have some feelings about.
What I want to do it.
No, I don't. You can't see my screen. I'm curious if you know what I'm going to do. So here we go. I know he's not going to be back until at least week 5, but when he does, it's going to be something else.
You bastard.
Demo, baby.
I had him queued.
Go.
You bastard.
Demo.
Sean.
It's next to my queue, and I thought about taking him when I drafted last time. I was like, hopefully he'll slip one more time.
Let me tell you, I'm probably the only person here who watches Lions Instagram as much as 2 hours a day. Or maybe 3, over under. Dude is running, and he's running. He's doing live drills. I think he's going to be back by week 4. And when he comes back, Goff can throw a deep ball. Goff throws a beautiful deep ball. He's going to air it out. It's going to be beautiful.
Sean, you stole my defense, so I'm going to have to settle with the Saints here. Hopefully Marcus May doesn't get punished too bad.
Never mind.
I'm a huge fan of massages. Deshaun Watson hopefully comes through in the playoffs for me.
Wow.
Comes through?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, God. We just got kicked off of CBS.
What in the world is ESPN showing? There's dudes in purple. Are they
at an FCS school again? They love to do that.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I thought they were at Ohio State.
I refuse to watch ESPN because they keep trotting Corso out, who had the hottest take I've ever heard in the history of broadcasting, that no SEC team is going to win the SEC this year. You didn't hear that last week. I was
they
like,
need to get him off.
Wait a minute. What?
I love Corso, but he's getting up there.
Time.
I think they're doing it.
It needs to be.
He's like a father figure to Kirk. I think it's Kirk.
They need to do pre-recorded junk with him and just put it in a couple of times, and then let him be there for the final thing with the stupid put the thing on your head.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, his faculties are not all there.
No. He needs to go.
It's all fun and games until they do like an Arkansas game, and he puts the helmet on backwards, and it looks like the scene in Ace Ventura 2 where he's coming out the back of the rhino. That might finally do it.
Man, you taking JMO just threw everything off.
Yeah, Usually you're the one outsmarting me. So, it's nice to role reversal for a change. I love camo.
No, we're in the last, about to be in the last round.
That's true.
All right,
McGee, Wandale Robinson. That's a name I haven't heard enough of the rookie receiver class. That could be very interesting, especially if Tony's walking the street after he takes a swing at somebody on the sidelines inevitably in the first couple weeks of the season. Wandale's legit.
I think he's going to be starting.
I can't wait to trade Bucks defense to Tones for his first round pick.
Let me tell you something. The entire New York fan base is over Galladay.
Oh, they hate his guts.
I don't blame him.
Let me tell you, as a Lions fan, thank you for taking that pill for us, because the Lions had no intention of re-signing him. They were like, "Yeah, you can walk, buddy. You're not that good."
Did you see that play where they ran the ball and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm blocking," and he just kind of. It's like, dude, get off the field. Go home.
Paying free agent wide receivers. I don't know how many times we got to see paying free agent wide receivers who were either the number 2 or were on a bad team. The hit rate of those is so low. It's insane.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, Kirk.
Terrible.
He won't even be the number 1 receiver by week 2. It'll be Zay Jones. Mark my words. Because Zay's actually better than he is.
Hey, Chenault went from Jags to Lions, right?
No, Chenault.
He went to Carolina.
Oh, Carolina. That was it.
You're thinking of Chark. Chark went from Jags to Lions.
I like Chark.
That's a good pick. Gallup in this late.
Can't believe it was still sitting there. Again, I got CeeDee Lamb. I'll take that depth.
I'll take Baltimore playing the Jets week 1.
Oh, Gallup, when he gets healthy, he could end up being a decent flex play.
I was down
wide
to
receiver 2 and a high power offense.
Oh yeah, no, I mean a guy like that. I mean, like for me, it was down to him, Josh Palmer, and Van Jefferson. Like they're all in the same class for me. Secondary option on a really good offense, high powered. I think one of them is going to pop off.
I had a tough call here at tight end, backup tight end. I'm going to go because of my quarterback in Justin Herbert. I'm going to get his tight end here who has some upside, Gerald Everett.
Okay.
Happy with that. That'll round up my team.
All right, Sean, take us home, or take us Mahomes.
Take us Mahomes. I'm going to grab a backup tight end myself as well because I like some of the tight end options. I'm going to take a guy who's never popped off over a full season, but I like the potential in this offense, especially the way I think defenses are going to attack them. Hurst signing with Cincinnati and taking Uzama's spot is an interesting one to me. He's always been like in a tight end group with another guy that's been better than him, but he's the number 1 clearly in that group right now. And as a backup,
so Sean, this is your team right here. Give me your thoughts real quick.
I really, really like where I went the first couple of rounds. I'm not crazy about Montgomery as my second running back. I have to count on Jacobs or Walker or Mostert doing something. So I'm pretty challenged there. But zero RB has been, I've just kind of been best player available strategy this year. So that's just how the board fell to me. And I'm not a huge fan of reaching for running backs. I think if you don't get one of the top 7 to 10, just take the best player available and let the chips fall where they may.
Tones will go to you next. What'd you think of your team? I'm sorry, I said Tones. I'm sorry, Joey.
The ghost of Tones is here. I mean, obviously, I'm dependent on Buffalo a lot. If Gabriel Davis, a lot of people are higher than I am on him, but if he has a good season, I think my team will be all right.
Doug, what about you? You're seeing hands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just ship the ring to my address.
Wow.
Man, the man of few words comes through with the dagger.
You actually need an address.
We'll go to see who's next on Bobby.
All right, I'm happy with my drafts overall. I'm shocked that Jefferson fell to 8. That's kind of a steal.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, I think he has wide receiver 1 potential and overall. So getting him at 8 was great. Running back, there's a couple question marks there, but overall I got some good depth, so it should be all right. But yeah, I like my team a lot. I think it's balanced, and I think it's gonna compete.
And where's your team name?
Below Doug's. State Farm.
State Farm. That throws me off the whole Jake thing. Just like Sean's got a team called Just in Time. I keep thinking it was Waller's team all last year.
So, I mean, my team is it's very risky. I mean, I kind of have some consistency with Mahomes and Kelsey and CeeDee Lamb, but from there, it's just a complete crapshoot. I mean, like if my guys stay healthy, I got C-Mac, like basically top 5 potential overalls in C-Mac and Michael Thomas. I've got I love the run. I love my receivers more than my running backs, but between Pollard, Melvin Gordon, and Kenneth Gainwell, I think I'll be able to string some things together, make it work.
And then my team, so I got Cup as the first pick, and then by the time it came back around me, I was surprised the run that the running backs went on. I thought more receivers would go, so that's how I ended up with Williams. So I mean, he's definitely got the talent to be the guy, but he's not necessarily the first running back I want. That's why I much prefer drafting later in the draft than at the top, because if you don't go for a running back at the very beginning, then you're really risking having what I've got going on here. I do like Dobbins' upside, man. He seems like he had a chip on his shoulder about his injury, so hopefully that works out. But the main reason why I got him was because I had Jackson, I had Andrews, and I put Dobbins in there to try to and then I didn't realize how big of a Baltimore fan I am, because I got Marquise Brown, and then I ended up with the Baltimore defense. So
yeah,
I'm missing me some Brown on the Ravens, so I drafted him, I guess is what I did. But I love my quarterback situation in Jackson and Hurts. My running backs, obviously Brian Robinson won't be there at the beginning, but I think he'll eventually be the starter. It didn't look like there was any structural damage, so I just have to bite that bullet. And then I do think James Cook's going to be the guy in Buffalo, though. I mean, Singletary's had his chance.
I mean, he was a top 10 running back the last 5 or 6 weeks last year.
If you say so, I just remember seeing donuts on his score sheet. I'm not buying Singletary. I mean, I think James Cook is in a PPR or half PPR format. He's going to be the guy catching the balls out of the backfield. And I just remember how they were they get down the stretch and it's nothing but pass. It's the Josh Allen show.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'll probably with my running backs, it'll be constantly in flux. I do believe that Patterson is still the guy in Atlanta. And I don't know why he's not getting any respect, but he's not. And
there's not a lot of other guys in Atlanta that they could go to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So many people are just poo-pooing on what he did last year. And I don't know if it's because he lost his wide receiver running back, dual availability. But that's not that big a damn deal. If you're going to start him in your flex, your running back, I think it helped a little bit for those of us that had weaker receiving cores, and you could slide him in there. But anyways, stupid underdog picks. We need to get on that before we start having to jump off here. So guys, if y'all missed the little disclaimer I said at the beginning of the show, we're no longer going to go in order because we're going to be coming on at all different times. If you really want a stupid underdog that somebody already has, I'm not going to block you from doing it this year. So if you really want it, it is what it is, because there's just no way when we start the show at 9 and ended at noon and everyone's coming in, I can't ask Sean and Steven to always take the last picks of the underdogs. So so far, just so everyone knows who they took in the underdogs. If you're just joining us real quick, we take a team who is an underdog on the lines in Vegas to win outright. If they win outright, you get that many points. So if Ohio State were to be upset by Notre Dame and you took Notre Dame today, you're going to get 16 points. and when we keep up with it throughout the season. And if they cover the spread, you do get 2 points. If they don't cover the spread, you get 0. So there's that. All right. Bobby, you got a stupid underdog pick, or Trosh or Sean, who who's ever got one first. I don't care.
I'll go ahead and go then. I'll take Oregon plus 16. I think there's a good shot that they cover week 1 game. I know Georgia's dominant, but Oregon's a solid team. I think at least I can get 2 points out of it. I don't think I'll get the win. I don't think I'll get the full 16, but I think it's a pretty safe choice.
Okay. And for those of y'all playing at home, we are going by ESPN this year. It's too confusing to go by anything else. So whatever they've got on their site at the time we make the pick, I think you're actually getting 16.5 right now. So 16.5, Oregon. Anyone else got one? I still haven't looked at mine. I don't even know who I'm picking.
Yeah, I'll go pick one of the 12 o'clock games. East Carolina is plus 12. Facing NC State at home. They like to run the ball. They like to keep basically slow the game down. NC State, have Devin Leary. He's trying to show he's that dominant quarterback in the ACC. But I think that East Carolina is going to take that. He's going to just keep the game slow and keep it competitive. I think they actually have a chance to win.
All right, Sean, you got one?
I do. I've got one that's off the board that maybe nobody's taking it, but I'm going to take the South Florida Bulls, who are an 11.5-point dog hosting BYU. Couple of pieces of data for you. First of all, I love omens like this. BYU is 1-8 all time in the state of Florida, which is not something that you can disregard. They always have a difficult time playing there for whatever reason, probably because the Mormons haven't seen Latin girls twerk before. I don't know what it is. That's just my guess. Okay. Also, South Florida, very good offense last year, returns 85% of their offensive production from last year. BYU lost some guys, particularly on the defensive line. And they added Jerry Bohannon, if that name sounds familiar. He was a quarterback at Baylor, lost out in the competition last year, had a knee injury. He's now at South Florida. I think they're going to win outright. I never love teams coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. We talk about this in the NFL all the time. Why wouldn't it affect college players even worse when they're much younger and not as experienced? So South Florida, plus 11.5, to cover and win outright over BYU and Kalani Sitake.
Okay, so you and Angelo with the same pick, 11.5. South Florida BYU. That's 4 o'clock ESPNU for folks who are wondering about. I'm going to take the last game of the weekend. Georgia Tech, 23-point underdog against Clemson. It's being played in Atlanta, Georgia. I think Georgia Tech's campus is maybe 5 miles from the stadium. I'm still not an Ugalele guy. I've got to see it to believe that he made some big transformation. Do I think Georgia Tech's going to win? Probably not. But what the hell, man? It's a conference game. You've seen goofier things, and we'll go from there. I am the defending champion. This is the Big E stupid underdog picks. We named it after Big E because he passed away a few years ago. He was a member of our show, and he was always very good at this. And at the time that he passed, he was kicking the crap out of us. So, I'm still haven't launched a full investigation on you guys on which one was behind something. But anyways, I digress. Georgia Tech, 23 points. And by halftime, I'll probably be cussing, going, what the hell have I done?
I will say
I forgot last year we started this, and I need to clarify. Last year, if they don't cover the spread, you lose 2 points. That's my fault. Anyways, go ahead.
No, I was going to say once every year or so, Georgia Tech is good for a shocker. So, I mean, why not week 1? They pulled them off before.
Yeah.
And not every defensive line has seen that. I think Georgia Tech is still running the triple veer, double wishbone, double option, 3 running back pistol, goofy stuff that they tend to run.
They got rid of that coach a couple of years ago.
Did they get rid of him? Okay.
But they showed flashes last year. But Georgia Tech, do they have the talent that Clemson has? No. But their only chance to win this game would be to take the air out of the ball, because if nothing else, Clemson still might have the best defensive line in the country. Outside of that, I got to see it to believe it with Clemson. When is Clemson's first big test? Does anybody know? Oof, Furman. Louisiana Tech. They're at Wake Forest in late September, which Wake Forest should be good this year. But they've got a pretty easy schedule at the beginning. At the end, we were talking about this the other day. They've got kind of a difficult sledding. After they go to Wake Forest, they're at home against NC State, which is ranked 13th in the country. They're going to go to Boston College, who's not good, but still, they're going to play at Florida State, and they could just be worn out at that point. I don't think Florida State's going to be some world beater. But here's the thing: they don't get any weeks off. They play Syracuse right after that, so that's a bam, 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 and then they finally get a week off. They go to Notre Dame, host Louisville, who's supposed to be decent this year, and in Miami. And then not to mention they finish at South Carolina. So the back end of their schedule is much more difficult than the front end. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of typical of college football. Before we get out of here, because there's no real NFL to talk about, Sean brought up what did you call the segment? I've already screwed it up.
Sean's big stupid parlay.
Stupid parlay. That's what it was. Okay. So I'm going to keep track of this, and I guess I'm going to have to.
I'll keep track of it. I'll just text it or email it to you. I'll keep track of it week to week. See how
I'm going to keep track of it, so I've got it in front of me. All right. So what is your stupid parlay this week?
All right. My big stupid parlay, again, these are going to be throughout the year. It's going to be college football or NFL football, one of the two, sometimes mixed up. It's always going to be 3 legs. I won't ever do more than 3 legs. You really have sometimes I send Trosh like some 5-leggers and 6-leggers. He's like, dude, you've got a better chance of being bitten by a shark on dry land. What's the matter with you? Stop it. Knock it off. So I'm going to keep it to 3 legs this year. So my first pick is the one I just mentioned, South Florida plus 11.5. Again, they just have to cover the spread. I really love South Florida in this spot currently. That puts me in minus 110. And then for my second part of the leg, I'm taking the UTSA Roadrunners. Again, I'm a CUSA honk because, we live in a city where Middle Tennessee State is in the CUSA. If you haven't seen UTSA play before and you haven't seen that crowd in the Alamo Dome, that place is going to be bananas. And they're welcoming in a Houston team that's, I think, 24th or 25th overall, Dana Holgerson, but they lost some players to the draft. I'm not a big fan of their quarterback, and it's just a tough place to play. I think UTSA is going to cover the 4. And then last but not least, take a look at the hat, baby. Take a look at the hat. Florida State plus 3 in the swamp to wrap it up. That is my stupid leg of the week. $5 on that pays out about 36. So that is my stupid leg, 3-leg parlay of the week. Florida State plus 3, UTSA plus 4, and South Florida plus 11.5. You hit them all, pays out at about 7-1.
All right.
Worse.
It's kind of funny that you went with South Florida because that was also Angelo's pick. You took UTSA, who, for whatever reason, Tony Aguilini always calls him America's darling. I don't know why, but he always reminds me who they're playing. He reminds us who they're playing every week. I'm pretty sure it's UTSA. I know it's a small team in Texas.
He likes them. He likes them. Yeah.
And then
it's got to be the colors. They've got orange and blue in their color scheme. That must be why Aguilini likes them.
And then the Seminoles. So you put the kiss of death on all of us. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Hey, call me crazy. Again, I made a lot of jokes on his behalf. I loved what I saw at Florida State last week. I know who the opponent was. I get all that. But we're gonna see what the coaching really looks like when my family starts coaching in Baton Rouge and tries to phase out that ridiculous accent he dropped on everybody 5-6 months ago. Me and my family love the South. You're a faker. We know where you're from. You coached at Central Michigan. I've been watching your whole career. Stop it.
Might as well have Bobby Boucher out there.
All right, so we're going to give a 6-pack to go. Normally we'll have 6, 7, 8 guys making picks, but today it's just the 4 of us. Give me one pick, Sean, of those or something else that you really like against the spread. And going forward, you'll be able to pick college or pro. We do the show on Saturdays, but obviously we're not doing a Sunday show.
I'm going to give you one that's I've seen a little bit of action on, but it's really, really weird. You have to really be paying attention. Arkansas -6.5 at home against Cincinnati. I don't think everybody's really aware of how many players Cincinnati lost. And I believe in Fickle. I think he's a good coach, but I love Sam Pittman, man. I love the Hog. I love that whole whatever they're doing, the Hog pirate ship stuff down there. And those fans get nuts when the teams are good. And they've got a great baseball team right now. They've got a good football team. I think Arkansas covers the 6.5 walking away. That might be 2 touchdowns or more against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to take a step back. I think Fickle still has a good program there, but they're not what they were last year.
All right, Bobby, what's your pick 'em?
I'm going to go with the NFL one. I'm going to say Jaguars +3. It's a battle of 2 bad teams.
They're not playing this week.
Oh, okay. I thought you said NFL too. Okay.
Well, starting next week, but we want to make a
Gotcha.
pick. We're going to be back here next Saturday and go.
You're right.
I still don't know if your pick covered.
Go to Steven and then circle back to me. Let me get you a college game.
All right.
I'm trying to get the current line on it, but I'm going Boston College over Rutgers. Rutgers, I don't know if anybody's seen the news, but they're without their starting quarterback, two starting running backs, and the starting tight end, and they're just losing everything. Shiano looks like he's in trouble today. I think last I saw was +7 or -7.5 for Boston College.
I got 7 for you.
Yeah, ESPN's got it at 7 even. Chestnut Hill's a tough place to play. I mean, it's tougher when it's cold, but tough.
The number that we're going to go off of, if you just go to ESPN's scoreboard, it's on ESPN.com. It shows you the over/under and it shows you the current line, and they're getting that from Caesars, I believe. So, all right, I'll go ahead and take mine. I feel like I'm going to jinx it, but I'm still going to go ahead and take it. Give me Utah Utes -2.5 in the Swamp. That line was 3.5 earlier in the week, so I'll take the 2.5. I feel much better taking the actual money line because I could see this being a 1-2 point game, but I'll go ahead and take Utah -2.5. Should be Utah is a good team. Florida is in, no matter what they say, it's still in a rebuild, but it is tough to win in the Swamp at night. So that's the one caveat, but Utah should win this. And if Utah doesn't win this, they can't just shut the hell up. Don't put yourself in the national conversation anymore the rest of the year, because this is a game you should win. This is Florida's first game with their new coach. Utah's returning everybody. I mean, everybody. I mean, there are guys 10, 15 years ago that are opting back in. So give me Utah.
Shouts out to Abilene. We'll be at the game.
Yeah.
Be safe, Tony.
Yeah, I got one. I got South Carolina -12.5 against Georgia State. I think that's a pretty low number considering the team they're playing. They got Spencer Rattler coming in as their new quarterback, obviously. I think 12.5. I think they should cover that. Not certain, but I'm confident in that.
Who is coaching Georgia State nowadays? Anyone know? It was
not a clue.
God, what was his name? Oh, the dude that got canned from Alabama years ago. He's the one.
Elliott is their coach.
It's who?
Sean Elliott.
The Sean Elliott?
I don't know of any other ones.
I'm going to look that up.
He's been there since 2017.
Okay, yeah, that's not the Sean Elliott I'm thinking of. I was thinking about the guy that used to play guard for the San Antonio Spurs.
No. Yeah, that's Sean Elliott. Yeah.
The Bill Curry is the guy I was thinking of. He's the one that brought Georgia State to Georgia State. Just has only been playing football maybe a decade. He was, man, when they first brought him on, he was like, we're going to be the next big thing. And I remember listening to the entire podcast that day. Someone brought him on and talked to him, and I'm like working. So, you're not changing it because you're like, I'm not taking my gloves off. It is what it is. He listened to this whole diatribe about how Georgia State's going to be kicking everyone's ass in a few years. Then I remember like shortly after that, he retired. I'm like, okay, so what was that about? We're going to be really good as soon as we get me out of here. Don't worry about this, guys. All right, walk-off. So we're going to go ahead and end this early. Normally end at noon, but doing the drafts later today, give everyone extra time to prep and everything. Start with Bobby. What's your walk-off for the day, sir?
You know what I'm going to say? Utah and Florida tonight in the Swamp. I think it's going to be a good game. First game for Napier. Big chance to prove himself. So, and it'll be a tough competition. I mean, you got number 7 Utah coming in, so it's no easy game for Florida, but it should be entertaining. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should. Look, I'm looking more forward to that than I am the Ohio State Notre Dame game. Steven, what's your walk-off?
Going back to that East Carolina NC State game, throwing one more bet out there. Over under right now is 51.5. The under has hit 5. Like between these two teams have played, it's the under has hit 5 of the last 7 games. I'm rolling that again, 51.5.
And Sean, what is your walk-off?
My walk-off is all hail college football. It's back. I try not to be too rearview mirror, but hey, 2 years ago, me and McGee were trying to do shows about our favorite episodes of The Last Dance and me making him listen to Fiona Apple records. And here we are. College football's back, baby. I was here. I was in my living room last night watching the train wreck that was Indiana and Illinois because I just love Big Ten football that much. Everybody enjoyed the games today. I'm so glad football is back. It's the best time of the year. Glad to see you guys again. Love to do this every year. Everybody enjoyed the games.
It was great seeing all of y'all. My walk-off is if you are still lucky enough to be involved in fantasy baseball playoffs, don't forget to set your lineup because you're locked into these damn drafts. I've got alarms on my phones because remember something, baseball is much different than football. You have to check and see if a guy's in the lineup. Now, one way I got away from that was that, Steven, you'll notice, because I knew we were doing these drafts, I was like, I'm using all my pickups before Saturday. I'm not going to worry about having pickups because I'm going to be sitting there all drunky the monkey with you in the pool going, should I pick up? This guy says he's making his debut for the Mariners. You know, the other, it was the last night or the night before when the 2 Cleveland pitchers went down.
Yeah.
And they made the announcement that, what was his name, Morris was going to pitch. And so in the trophy league, which I was in pretty good shape, I picked him up just to see what he would do. And I was like, I'm not doing that in the dynasty league. What everyone's getting on this train but if you look at what he did in the minors, he's only thrown 28 pitches the most. So sure enough, he came in for 2 innings last night, but they never tell you that crap, you know, but remember to set your lineups. You might want to go ahead and set your lineups for today and tomorrow because you're going to forget. Trust me, you're going to forget.
Oh no, I already did mine this morning. I am not losing to Doug.
This is the whole reason why we do our playoffs. I mean, our drafts now. I mean, our playoffs now is so that they're essentially over with because by the time next weekend hits, you got all the fantasy football crap going on. You're going to be like, oh no, I forgot to set my lineups. Which sport? You take a guess. Hey, Doug's alive. He's back. What's your walk-off, Doug?
Oh yeah, I just heard Trosh say he wasn't going to lose to me. You spent all season losing to me. Why? What's one more day?
Gotta come back.
I'm looking forward to today. Can't wait to have all you guys over here, and we're gonna have some good food. And Forbes is gonna show up a little early. We're hanging a TV outside, so that ought to be fun. Hopefully, that gets secure before the drinking starts. So, cool. Bring your swimwear, or be the guy sucking at the end of the pool on the edge of the pool. Go, man, I wish I was swimming.
Oh, you know, I'm ready. I'm living in that pool today.
And skivvies are not okay. Don't show up and go, I'm good, man. I'll just get in there with my tidy whities on.
Never mind then.
All right, guys, looking forward to it. We will see everyone next Saturday. We'll be here every Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. We're still doing the Atlanta Braves play-by-play games on Tuesdays. And the next 2 weeks, we're doing Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then the Wednesday night show with Justin Waller, Hump Day show where we kind of talk all the world of sports. And it's great to start our this officially starts our 9th season. Our 9th season kind of started back in March or whatever, but this one I look at, we started our 9th season with the Armchair Quarterbacks and CBS Radio. Great job, guys. And good luck to you in any league. I am not in there with you.
Good luck to everybody. Enjoy the game today. Bobby, go get that 5th grade math homework done. See you guys next week.
Whatever. See you guys.
Goodbye, sweetheart. It's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. The Armchair Quarterbacks bring you Braves country baseball every Tuesday and Friday night, play-by-play with Mac McGee. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Can I get another cigarette, please? Can I get another cigarette, please? Yeah, I know I live to regret it. Just give me another cigarette, please.
Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Right.